If anybody shows up tonight, we're hanging out in the shack as usual, playing with lasers, and I thought I'd bring you guys along and just share a little bit with you. I have just recently fired up my little propane auxiliary heat because, guys, 18 degrees is not where my mini split was designed to operate. It's not doing that great of a job tonight, so it is down to 63 in here. So it's not bad in here, but I just preemptively went ahead and turned the propane on for a little while to knock the chill out of the air. So looks like there's going to be 12 of you guys. So hello, how is everybody? Small crowd tonight. Like I said, this was kind of one of the spur of the moment things. This machine came in, and Biscuit, the new volunteer dog, helped me open it. So y'all missed that part. He partially had it opened. He has found that he has a taste for green laser safety glasses. So that's something we got to work on, because if he's going to live here, he can't be opening packages before I get home and eating stuff out of them. So far, that's the only problem we've had. He did eat one of Brandy's throw pillows that were on the porch and a box that contained a laser so far. So we're going to work through that, hopefully, because we can't have dogs eating lasers. That's just no go. So how is everybody? I'm going to go through here. I'll try to call everybody out since we got a small crowd tonight. We can do that. So I had enough. Okay. Merrill Carl Arbery. Bespoke Lasers. How are you? Scott Sparrow. Hey Scott, how did that I guess you would call it accessory that you got, how did that work out for you? Mark Patterson, how are you? LTX Designs, Patty Wright. Bespoke Lasers 21 in Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's unusually cold here. I mean, I know some of you guys are like, oh, 18 degrees, that's not cold. This place was not designed for 18 degrees. Okay. The insulation is drafty. The insulation is like better than nothing, but it's not great. So yeah, nowhere near sealed up like it needs to be. David Allen, that's that fellow with a good name. How are you, sir? Big Heart 86. Hello. Kai Hamilton. Hello. Chuck Peterson, Trade Skillers Anonymous. How are you? Owisu? I don't know. Owisu? OWISU? Whatever. I got you. How are you? Glenn Keys and my man Jack in the shop. Y'all don't know that Jack was famous. He was actually over on the show with Garrett over at IDC Woodcraft the other night. So I got to watch that. It was cool. Jack was representing us laser folks over there. Mr. Don Lewis, Jason at S&J Custom Laser Engraving. How are you? No, we missed the snow both rounds. The first round was north of us. Second round was south of us. So yeah, no snow here. LTX Design, Jason Cunningham. Hello, sir. How's it going? Lakeside Custom Lasers, Burn Carve Print. How are you? Sent me an email. I don't know when you sent it, but I don't think I got it. I don't remember getting it. Sometimes I get a lot of emails, so I may have gotten it and thought it was an old email and deleted it. So I don't know, but yeah. So if you sent me an email there, Scott, I don't know, but yeah, let me know. Let me know when you come up with something on that, whether that worked out for you or not. Travelers Diecast Customs, how are you, Mr. Kevin Jensen, Steve Wright, and Mike Haichu, Anthony Pickett, and of course Scott. Yeah, I haven't checked my email lately, Scott. So that's Well, unless it's like I said. Well, let me know what you figure out. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, just a bunch of emails. So anyway, So about this right here. All right, guys. I've had a longer B1 to 30 watt before. Longer kept emailing me, and they wanted me to do this, wanted me to do that, wanted me to do this, and they wanted to send me the 40 watt. Well, luckily, I have one of the guys here locally that needed an upgrade. So finally, I was like, hey, fine, I've got the 30 watt, but you can send me the 40 watt. So one of my buddies here nearby had been running a 5 watt for a while. And so I upgraded him to the 30 watt longer B1 once they told me they were going to send that. So I've got the 40 watt to replace the 30 watt that I did have. And they also, for some reason, sent me an extra air assist pump. I don't know if somebody in the marketing department didn't tell. I don't know if they don't know what's in the box or what, but let me show you what I'm about. So I was a little bit, at first, I was a little bit perturbed. I ain't going to lie about it. Because this air assist here was in an extra box. And I got to looking, and I'm like, you know, my B1 30 watt had automatic air. Well, I got to looking, I'm like, this thing just plugs in the wall. So this is not going to be automatic air. And I looked on the box. It said this was the air pump for the longer, what's the other one? Longer array 10. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work, because I mean the B1 has automatic air. And so I was a little perturbed when I opened that box. But then when I opened the box that the laser was in, I find this. And I'm like, okay, because the longer does have this little aircraft terminal connector right there. This basically for you really old school guys, it looks like the screw in for a microphone for a Cobra 99 or a D104 microphone for, you know, one of the old CB radios. But so I felt a little better about it once I found this. So the one thing that I can tell you is whether you get the air assist pump for the longer B1 or the other ones, it's the same pump. It's just powered differently. So I can tell you that, because it is exactly the same. The only difference is this one's got like a wall plug on it, and this one has the adapter to where it outputs from directly from the machine. So I got an extra air pump now. So there we go. Another thing that they did that I'm not real sure about is they sent me a 400 by 400 honeycomb. And if I'm not mistaken, unless they've changed the longer B1, it's a 500 by 400 machine. So my honeycomb's going to be a little short if I start trying to cut any big stuff. Luckily, I do have a 500 by 500 honeycomb over here where the 70 watt lives. So in the event that I want to do some heavy cutting, I can. Because like I said, I didn't really need the machine. I have gotten rid of some lately, so I've got room to keep up with it, but they just wouldn't take no for an answer. And I do like the open gantry machines. I know everybody's like, you're going to put your eyes out with those open gantry machines, but let's face it, guys, they're cheaper. A lot of times for those of us who don't have dedicated space to keep the laser, at least at the end of the day, you can take this thing and hang it on the wall and get it out of your way if you need to, as opposed to some of the bigger machines you can't. So there are case uses to where, you know, as long as you're responsible and you wear these machines are actually better for your situation, because not everybody has the room to dedicate 24 by 36 by 16 inch area to a laser. You know, some of you guys are like me. Some of you are probably right now running a laser on top of your table saw because that's the flattest, most flame resistant area in your shop, because it's cast iron on top. So, you know, that's why I don't want to get away from doing them at all. And I did like the longer 30 watt. I really did. But like I said, my buddy, he was doing projects with a 5 watt, and like he was having to let his laser run overnight, which is not advisable. And so I was like, dude, if you'd have just told me, I could have, you know. So I worked with him, got him the 30 watt, and he's doing like three times the jobs in half the time. So worked out good for him. But anyways, that is yeah, Jack, that's what I try to tell folks. I understand safety wise in the land of safety and lawyers and all that. I understand there is definitely a need when you can to have it enclosed. It's safer for pets, it's safer for kids, it's even safer for us. But you can't always have that. You know, you don't always have that option. So anyway. My wife cooked me some salmon patties earlier. Got a little touch of heartburn from it. But man, them things was good. They was good. I won't gross anybody out, but she made two of my favorite foods, salmon patties and Brussels sprouts. And I know that sounds like a totally just messed up meal, but hey, I like both of them and they're both really good. So I got my iron and my vitamins from my Brussels sprouts. And I got my protein and all that good stuff from my salmon patties and a little bit of fish oil. I can't tell you guys. I'm sorry. All right. The machine over there under the CNC. I was set to release a video on it and do some stuff with it. I think they told me the 15th. But like on the 13th, they emailed me and were like, "Hey, hold off. We're working through some whatever on their end. We don't want to release it yet. So, you know, give us a little while and we'll get back with you." So I'm just waiting. But I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I'm assuming maybe there was a hiccup somewhere, but whatever the hiccup is, I haven't found it. It works well for what I've used it for. So I don't know. It may be something that I just haven't found. But anyway, sorry. We'll get it out when we can. It is interesting, but yeah, maybe in the next few weeks. I do have also for any of you guys that may be going around, what is it, the last week of February, the first week of March. I think it's like the 27th through the 1st. I will be going to Workbench Con. Steve's supposed to be there as well. If he can hurry up and recover from the bird flu or whatever he wound up getting up in Las Vegas, because I have briefly texted with him today, and he's still trying to fully recover. He's better, but he said he's still not feeling up to doing a whole lot. So, yes, the 2025 Workbench Con, yes, it will be. Well, why is it? I got the times here, but it doesn't tell me the dates. But yeah, I think it's the 27th through the 1st, because I had to 27th through the 1st. I had to reserve my room the other day. I will be staying at the motel where the event is. Assuming Steve's going to be there too. It'll be both of us will be there, assuming he makes it. But I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I'm assuming he'll be better by then. If he's not, then he may need to go get looked at. I had an MRI. Was it Monday? I think it was. I had to go get an MRI done because with my, since the knee repair job, my back's kind of reared its head again, started giving me some problems. I'm pretty suspicious that it was because I had to have my legs stiff, like with that lock and brace on for so long. It's got my back kind of jacked up a little bit. So got the word today that, yes, there's a problem. My L4, L5, which my L5, S1 is where my problem was last time, but I do have a little bit of an, what they call it? They got some technical term for it. Basically, the nerves getting pinched. So they were kind of leaning towards another surgery, but I told them, I was like, look, I think we just kind of irritated this through the whole recovery of the knee thing. And so could we please just try doing one of the shots first? See if that clears it up. If it doesn't, then, I'm not going to just keep doing shot. But if one shot doesn't clear it up, then we'll go ahead and let them do what they got to do. But hopefully Monday, when I get that shot put in, hopefully the pain will quit. It hasn't been like the way that it was last time, but I don't want it to get to like it was last time either. Because like last time my back went out on me, it was a mess. So Brent's asking, is the Falcon 2 22 watt true 22 watt output? I can't say for sure exactly what the wattage of the output is, but I can tell you if it's kind of like what you've seen with some of the other ones where they're like, oh, it's a 60 watt laser when it's actually only a 10. They are advertising that 22 watts as the actual output wattage. I've had a Falcon and it was a 22 watt or advertised. Now keep in mind, they're saying it's a 22 watt. Typically the way that works is it's going to be like 4 or 5 watt lasers stacked on top of each other. You're going to have some plus or minuses in that stack. One of them may be doing 4.5 watts or 5 watts, or you're going to have, 6 watt lasers, I think it is now. Anyway, whatever it is, like a 22 watt typically is going to have multiple lasers, and they're going to have an operating capacity of plus or minus, meaning it may be 5.5, it may be 6.5, it may be 4.5. But if they say 5, that's ballpark where it should be. But the one that I had, it was in the vicinity of what I would expect from a 20 watt machine. So I would say it's pretty close. Kind of like the 40 watt atom stack is technically a 48 watt, but it could be 45, it could be 50. It just depends. It's kind of like the whole horsepower thing with cars. Just because they're built to be the same, there may be a little variation. But typically, as far as I know, most of your name brands, whether it be Creality, Longer, Atom Stack, X-Tool, all the more established companies have gotten away from that whole input wattage, which basically they were rating the input of the whole machine and not the optical output of the module. And so you were getting those skewed numbers. So, Anthony, I've been down that road. Mine's not. They're not going to. Chiropractors aren't going to mess with mine. Like I said, it's messed up, but hopefully we're going to get it. Hopefully we're going to get it going. So, wait a minute, Chuck. There, somebody. What's the somebody? Is somebody quoting stove cover sizes? What's that about? What up, Steve? Yep. There's somebody asking about it. Man, y'all got my stove covers figured out. But yeah, 30.5 by 22.5 is what I run mine. And the reason being, I went and talked to the people who I'm making them for, and I asked them to come up with a size that was pretty much standard for what they did, and that was the size they went with. And I think we've made close to 300 of them now. And so far, they haven't complained that one was too big or too small or none of that. So, no, Steve gets all the cool toys. They're also wanting me to take hang on. Let me make sure hold on. I'm not supposed to be telling nobody this one. But anyway, they've got another machine that they're coming out with, Longer does. And they're wanting me to take it. But let me make sure. Let me make sure it's public. But they're wanting me to take it. But I really don't. I don't really need any more right now. Oh yeah, I guess I can talk about it. Yeah, seeing how it's on their website. All right, so they want me to take this guy, which is basically going to be Longer's version of a F1 or a laser pecker or whatever. It seems pretty cool, like pretty decent. The Longer Nano that I had worked great with Lightburn as long as I didn't put any of the attachments on there. The attachments kind of drove me a little crazy, but it actually did a pretty good job in Lightburn with just the machine itself. So I'm not against just the machine, but like this, well, that's a different conveyor than what they sent me with the other one. But I'm leery of the extra parts that go with it, which it don't look like they got a whole lot of stuff with this one. But yeah, I don't know. Jury's still out on whether or not I will accept it. It does have a cool little touch screen. I mean, it looks much improved over the original Nano that I helped with the Kickstarter on it. But I just don't know the timing and everything. I'm just not sure. They haven't sold me on that yet. So I guess I could take that camera off there. Yeah, Brent, Fox Alien, they may have been typically what they'll do is but they're rating it based on the input wattage instead of the output. Kind of like they're going by the old it's kind of, if you look at it like light bulbs, like a 100-watt light bulb is rated 100 watts because that's how much electricity it uses. All right. If you look at the way a light bulb is technically done is the output is measured in lumens, which is the measurement of the light that is emitted from the bulb. I wish they would take lasers that route somehow, so that it would be, a little more clear to people. But that's what they're doing is they're basically, Fox Alien saying it's a 40-watt module, which means it's pulling 40 watts. But, a lot of that's going to be power in the fan, power in the diodes or whatever. But the actual output in wattage of the beam ends up only being like 10 to 12 watts. So, yeah, it can be a little confusing. Most of the companies have quit doing that I've seen. But they try to sneak it in there because, it makes it sound better when they're advertising it. So. Oh, there you go. Yep, Ventari. Scott got one of your koozies and some stickers and all that kind of stuff the other day. So Steve said just make sure they understand it'll become a giveaway. What I actually proposed to them was if they would send me the machine and give me 2 coupons, basically 2 redeemable coupons, to where y'all could have the winners could get the certain coupon to go in there and redeem it and get a machine shipped to you. I told them that would be, if they want me to do it, that's what, and I've been telling a lot of companies that lately. Algo Laser is really pushing hard on their little DIY kit that they got. And I've been telling them, if you'll give me 2 coupons, or at least one, depending on how much the machine's worth, then I'll do it. But I want 2 coupons to be able to give them away. That way I don't have to try to pack one back up and ship it. With something the size of that little longer Nano, I probably could, because it wouldn't be that big to ship. But, until then, we'll see. Aldrich, no, it's still over there. I just had to set some boxes in front of it. It's right there. I just had to set a couple of boxes in front of it because I had boxes sitting everywhere. So, didn't know it was on for 10 minutes ago. But anyway, yeah, that's what's been going on around here. So I do need to get this machine put together, because that was kind of what I was planning on doing tonight, was getting this put together. It is a longer B1, so it's not like the first time I've put one of those together. I don't guess my microphone's making no noise or humming or anything. Somebody would have told me by now. Huh, I guess not. It may when I turn this other one. When I turn this part on, it might. Let's see if it hums, because I'm going to need a mic that y'all can hear me, because Steve will be like, they can't hear you. Remarkable how much I sounded like Steve, isn't it? All right, let's see if I pick up a hum, because I do have a battery connected. No, wait a minute. I think, yeah, that's what it was. As long as I charge it off of a battery, it doesn't do it. Hello, hello, hello. Test 1, 2. Test, test, test. All right, I got a hum now. If I ain't got a hum, I'll be all right. No hum? That's good. Yeah, I had to. Somebody forgot. somebody forgot to turn on the receiver down at the bottom. I did plug it up to a battery though, so it would charge. And this one's looks like it's yeah, it's about halfway. So I'll put the other half of this one on charge. I got so many darn mics now. This is the original set. This is the very first mics that I ever bought after I started the YouTube channel. And so many people were like, your audio is terrible. And so I bought these mics and I've been using them now for quite a while. So the other day I noticed one of them had a little bit of just a little bit of noise in it from time to time. And I think it was like these parts. So I bought me another pair just in case. And so now I've got these are set up to be just on my computer. Now I can turn the mic up if I need to. Let me see what it's set on. Ooh, lordy. The little screen's about gone out. Hang on, let me see what that does. Testing 1, 2. Yeah. Hang on. Okay, that's on 6. So I can tell that one's on 6. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Testing. All right. Maybe it won't be too bad. I think I can turn it. No, I can't really turn it up too much more. All right. Well, I mean, I can try this other one, but I think they're both gonna be about the same. Yeah, I can't. I can't swing them roads. There's a little bit too much money. Input mic in. Well, yep. Oh. All right. So as long as y'all hear me, I think the audio should be fine. If you can't hear me, you can turn me up. How about that? I'm gonna put this other one on charge in case we kill this one that I'm wearing. But yeah, should be good. All right. So I'm gonna get this other camera to where you guys can kind of see. If you call Sweetwater and get a sales rep. Yeah. Yeah, I don't usually reach out to people. People usually reach out to me. So yeah, I'll buy it if I get to needing something. Owisa, yes, I have my Rolly, but I ran out of real estate for it because I'm getting overrun with the Galvos. So I needed some more room because this one's all these 3 machines do different stuff. And so I had to have a place to put this this UV laser to where I could actually get to it. And so temporarily, until I get my bigger shop built, I've had to put the Rolly is up here in the attic where the cats live. I can't get rid of it because I do like the machine, but I just ain't got no more counter space. I've been doing my bamboo cutting boards with the OhmTech since I got it, and so that was really the only thing that I was needing the Rolly for on a regular basis. So I decided to put it away and clear up some counter space until I can get into my new shop. Hopefully, I'm going to be retiring soon. And hopefully, as soon as I do, I can break ground on the new shop. And when I build my new shop, I plan on making it big enough to where I can have many machines set up, ready to run. Because the whole thing in a nutshell is I've only got so many square feet here. And so I have to allocate it based on what I use the machines for. And so if a machine has a job, like my enclosure Zilla cannot go anywhere. That's stove covers. On average, I mean, I'm invoicing out like $600, $700 a week in stove covers. So I can't I can't do away with this machine. This machine has to be here. It has to run. It scared me the other day, believe it or not. Somehow or another, my darn power strip in the back had an issue and my machine died. And I thought it was actually the atom stack had died, and it scared me. But then I realized it was just a power strip in the back. It's got like a surge protector / power strip. It got tripped somehow. I don't know what happened. But yeah, reset it. Everything works fine, so I'm good. But all these machines pretty much have a job on a weekly basis. The only one that I can honestly say I don't use on a weekly basis is the A70. This enclosure is not as big as enclosure Zilla. And even though it's a 70 watt, and I do use it for like cutting the real thick stuff, like 3/4 pine, 3/4 oak, stuff like that, I'll use it for cutting stuff like that. I don't use it for engraving a lot because I have the Atom Stack X40, and then I got the OhmTech over there set up, ready to go. I end up going with one of them typically for engraving. Jack, I think you mean 100-watt MOPA, don't you? Ain't that what you mean? I don't think you mean 10-watt. I mean, I guess a 10-watt MOPA wouldn't be a bad idea, but I think you mean 100-watt. That is a 30-watt MOPA, and I don't want to count my chickens for the hatch, guys, but that one may be coming out of line. And Jack, you're going to be happy to hear this. That guy right there, the 30-watt GA30 from Monport, may be leaving, and the GA100 from Monport may be sitting where that one is. That's what they're telling me. I don't know. They did tell me a few days ago that they would be getting shipping taken care of. So I haven't heard from them in a few days. So you never know. But that is that's the rumor on the street, is that they're going to send me the 100-watt to replace the GA30. And I'm kind of excited about that because with a 100-watt MOPA, then I could do things that I really don't like doing with the fibers because it takes so long. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out. If it don't work out, I'm content with the 30-watt. It does lots of cool stuff already. But you know, if I could run a 100-watt over there, that'd be cool too. I don't even know where did they send that email. I was going to look and see when that was. It's been a little while. It may have got caught in a mass deleting. Also, I got a Same Spark machine coming. 100 watts and a wire. What are you talking about? A wire? Huh? I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, that'll be fun if it does come. Oh, got a critter. It's cold weather's got the critters moving around. It starts getting warm in here. All right, so let's get over here and put this machine together. That's a reference for Jack. Okay. Let me get over here and put this machine together right quick. I'll try to pay attention to the comments also. Oh, and I got this cool other angle too. Check that out. You can see my toolbox. Woo, woo. So we can do that, and hopefully I can still see the comments. So let's get started. All right, so this is the front. Front goes here. This is the back. Back goes there. All right. Gantry. I've got two sides here. Not sure which one's which, so we're gonna have to go double check with the book on that to make sure. So we'll set this gantry to the side because I'm pretty sure that's going to have to go on here in just a minute. No wires on that one. Can y'all still hear me? I'm guessing my audio still works. It should. All right, so well, that makes it easy. There's all my connections right there. I don't know if you can see that, guys, but makes it easy to figure out which one goes where when you got this big cabled bundle of wires right here. So that one's definitely going to be for this side. And then I got wires going out here for the gantry. So that means this one is going to go on this side. Belt tensioner is going to need to go to the front because I can see sprockets on the back. So those two are going to go right there. This guy will end up right there. So let's make sure. Let me consult the book and make sure I'm barking up the right tree here. It's been a long time since I put one of these longers together. So I just want to kind of revisit the manual here for a second and see what we got. Look at there. Prepare by placing all of your pieces where they need to be. See, I'm ahead of the game, guys. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. All right, so one. Then I got to get some screws out. So yeah, looks as though step one's just going to be to lay everything out and mount the X. Yeah. So, all right, let's find some screws. Screws are going to be in this nice little Ziploc bag here. I'm assuming. There we go. Nice little extra lens. Let me set this to the side. I'll be knocked that in the floor. And it says here that I will be needing M5 times 12. So there we go. They're going to be in this bag here. I'll move all these parts over here out of the way. That's actually a thumb drive thing, so I can move that. Cable management stuff, put that over there. Step switch, step 4. See, it's pretty handy when they put what the step is on there. Pretty handy. Let's see what we got. Okay, so all right, y'all talking amongst yourselves. There we go. That's bag's pretty cool. I'm gonna hang on to that bag. I might need that for something. All right. So yeah. After installing the profile, put the wires into the grooves, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so basically it wants me to put this together already, which is odd. So we've got to go ahead and roll that in there. Roll that in there. So there we are. We got that part kind of halfway jumbled together. This is where I'm going to need M5 by 12 4 screws and M5 by 16 4 screws for the front frame. And this is exactly the screws that you need in one bag. So that's, like I said, that's convenient. All right. So this little guy here is going to go in this little slot right there. All right. And see, the 16s are going to come in from the top, and then the 12s are coming from the bottom. So that should be, I would imagine that's going to be about a 3. Yep. Let me get the 16s in. I want to put the 16s in. It's showing the 16s going in first. So I'm going to put it in, get it nice and snug. I'm going to go ahead and do both of these. If memory serves me right, this wasn't a hard build last time I put one together. So I'm going to take these other 2 screws and go around to the back over here. Go ahead and now the way they've got this put together and everything's pulling up in these slots, it should automatically square itself up. Most of the companies now have got these machines to where when you put them together, like literally they play off of each other and get square. But part of my old school way of looking at things, I like to double check just to be sure. Yeah, it was a little out. I don't think it's enough to hurt anything. Once we tighten up the belts and all that, it'll pull itself straight. So once I got those in, now I got to put these 4 here in. These come in from the front into that same rail. This may actually help pull it on in square. There we go. So there's the main frame. Let me show you guys this right here. Typically they're 500 by 400. 400 and some change by 500, I think. I'll have to double check with this one, but yeah, I think it's the same machine. I'm pretty sure. This is the only difference between this one and the one I used to have. Is this? That's right, guys. That is a module right there. So yeah, if you look, this is a 450 to 460 nanometers. Power input is 24 volts, 5.3 amps. Optical output, laser optical power, 40 through 48 watts. So that's that about that I was telling you guys about. It's not going to be, they're not going to say it's exactly 40 watts because, you know, there are some variables. But yeah, there you go. So this, the only thing that I really wish they'd have done differently, and this is the same way on my 30 watt, is they got the little focusing foot on the bottom of this shroud. I like taking these off, but what I'll have to do is I'll take this off and I'll measure from where this foot touches the material to the top of this piece right here. I'll measure that and I'll make me a focusing tool that will slide onto the module. Like these are my focusing tools for the X2 or the Atom Stack, the 40 watt. So what I do is when I take this cover off, these will actually like basically hook over the module like that, so that when I let the module down, I go down until it touches, and then I pull this off the module, and I've got one for cut, one for engrave. So that is what's going to end up probably happening with this one, because I just don't like the way this little focusing leg is. I mean, no offense, but it makes it a pain when you get ready to clean this thing, because you got to take this off, you got to unscrew this. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not a fan of that. But other than that, it's a beast of a module. And I can tell you the 30 watt machine that I did have, it cut like a 40 watt. So yeah, but that's what goes on this beast. All right, so we switch y'all back over to your better view. All right, so we're through with step 2. Now we're going to go up to step 3, which is going to be install the belt. So we've got to put the belts in now, I guess. That's showing the gantry. Is the gantry belt not on? I thought the gantry belt was on. Oh, no, it's showing it from the side. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, it's showing it from the side of the machine. I was fixing to say, why is it showing the gantry? But this is the front of the machine, so it's basically like that. All right. These little rolling wheels, they work pretty good on these machines. Look how smooth that is. That's actually, it was kind of stuck there in the beginning because it was in a little bit of a bind, but now it's pretty smooth. Once I get these belts put on there, that'll tighten everything up. So we're going to go ahead now, put this bag over to the side. Got the belts. All right, that one over there. Oh, and always make sure you put the right belt on the right side and the left belt on the left side. Just joking. There's not a right and left belt. It don't matter. I wonder how many of y'all were like, what? Right and left belt. That's kind of like the blinker fluid. We'll get this over here where I can get to it. So I got to bend all over the place. All right. So the way this is going to work is you got these rollers up here. And so I'm going to come in from the top. I'm going to go around these rollers. I'm going to put the notches inside, of course. And then I'm going to drag it down here to the gantry. And there's this little slit that basically you just shove this brass crimp-on piece through that slit. And you go down here toward this end. I'm going to do both sides like that first. Then I'm going to flip it and do the other side. And that's going to actually be, this is just the idler side right here. So this doesn't have any teeth or anything on this idler. But when you flip this thing over, the other side is where the teeth are going to be. So as this goes, you pull this up inside this frame right here is where I'll try to get it where you can see it. Hang on, let me see if I can turn this around where you can see it. May not be able to and still get to it. So right here, you're going to basically take this belt has got to go up in there around that little sprocket, and then it's got to come back and do the same thing right over here. So these little guys are your friend when it comes to stuff like this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and pitch it over in there until it goes around that sprocket. I need a flashlight. Stand by. All right. So now I can see. So I'm just going to pitch it over there, and I'm going to use that I'm going to kind of make sure this thing curls the right direction. I'm just going to pitch it over there. Let it go around that sprocket. Well, I said I was. I said I was. may end up having to get me a zip tie. That one's a little tight. See, why couldn't we have just made that little cover right there pop off? Yeah, there's something back there preventing me from going around. All right, let me grab a zip tie. Trick number 2. You know, a rather large zip tie and some painter's tape. This thing's being a butt. So I'm going to take my zip tie. I'm going to push it against the back of the machine, try to get it to pop back out this side. What do I do with my pliers? Now this is all right. So all right, so I got my little zip tie in there. So now, I don't know if can you see my zip tie? Because sometimes it's easier to push that little piece of plastic around through there than it is this floppy rubber piece of rubber band here, basically. So then I'm going to take me some little tape here. I'm going to tape the belt to the zip tie, like so. Now I'm going to pull my zip tie and push on the belt at the same time. And there we go. And now once I get it all the way out, I can just literally pull that loose because that painter's tape don't hold real good. So now all I've got to do now is take and pull the belt tight and push it in that little hole, which is proving to be a little harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Well, the tensioners seem awful tight. See if I can back the tension off his belt a little bit. Nope. I'm going to loosen the connecting rod right here between the two sides. That way I can move one side independent of the other one. There we go. Well, that's not right. Uh-oh. Somebody put the belt in upside down, guys. That explains it. See, it happens. Yeah. That's probably why it was so tight. Well, we'll have to loosen this darn belt. Stand by. All right, so now that I've messed that up, let me go in and do it right. So I got to go under here, apparently, first. Yep. Then I got to go hook this one here. Yeah. See, I told you it's been a while. And then this belt. Go into there. All right. And then back in over here. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. All right, so I got that one. Got that one in there. Tighten this tensioner back down. Yeah, we're still good. All right. Well, that was a fiasco. Let's check the comments here. V, was you trying to tell me? I couldn't see it. Y'all probably had a better angle on it from where I was at. Oh. Yeah. Hey, it's getting there. It's been a minute. Like I said, it's been a while, and the instructions did probably point that out. If I'd paid a little better attention to the instructions, I probably would have noticed that I had the belt on there a little upside down. But anyways, yeah, my little light comes in handy. It's pretty cool to have, I must say. All right, so I should have just got V to come over and do this. She knew how it went. All right, so I'm not going to mess this one up. So I'm going to go ahead, take this one out. And so what I've got to do now, see that's right in the way of that's right in the way of that darn belt. Okay, I did something wrong with that. They didn't tell me that wire needed to be in a certain spot, but it looks to me like it does. I got a wire back here that is going to cause a problem if it stays where it's at. So I'm going to take this off, work through that right quick. Because if not, I'll end up having to take it apart because I can see already that wire is right where the belt needs to go. And it's the power wire for the stepper back here. Oh, I don't put that belt over there on. Let's see if I can get this to move around. All right. I think I got her straightened out now. there was a notch in that rail that wire had to go down through. Looked like. I'm hoping I got it right now. This is the only thing about these open frames is there is some assembly. And if you're trying to talk on a live and do it at the same time, sometimes you make mistakes. About time you turn that heater off. All right, so let me look at it, see what we got going on now. See if I can get this wire. Oh yeah, it's out of the way now. It's where it needed to be. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in while I'm here. Just gonna push it back under. All right. Yeah, they got the wire off of the belt, so that's what I was after. I don't know how that wound up getting where it was at, but it was not good. No bueno. All right, let's see if I can get this little guy here to go around easier than the other side. All right, maybe my darn zip tie again. Oh, these belts. See, they make these things too, I think, assuming people's fingers are all the same size when they're not. It'd be nice if my fingers would reach up in there, but they won't. Okay. Pliers. All right. That actually wasn't as bad as it could have been, thanks to my pliers. All right. So I got both of them through there. I'm gonna stand this thing up on its head like this, because what I got to do now is where I loosen that timing linkage so that those things would move independently. I got to make sure I get that tightened back up, but I also got to make sure that both sides of the gantry are against the frame before I do, so that we're all in sync. All right. So there we are. Main frame is in one piece. There we are. Ugh. Belts were a little bit of a pain. Woo, let me turn this heater off. This thing's getting hot. All right. I'm trying to read these comments here. Oh Lord, what y'all got? What y'all talking about over there? Mm-mm-mm. What up, Lance? How are you? Robbie, no, that we didn't get any snow at all. The first wave of snow was north of us. The second wave of snow was south of us. So we just got left out all around. They had almost a foot of snow, seems like, down around the Gulf, but you know, we're up here in the middle of the state and didn't get nothing. Now it's been cold, you know, for us southern folks. Steve likes to say that it hasn't been cold because it's been above zero. But we're not used to it being that cold here. All right, so we'll go ahead and put these little thumb screws over here in the hole where the module goes. So, all right, so we did the belts. Lord help me, that was rough. Handle screws, I put them in. That was step 4. 5, I got to put a limit switch on? What? Where's that go? On the gantry, I bet you. All right, so on 5, it says I got to have a limit switch times 2 and 2 M2 times 10 screws times 4. X and Y limit switches. So that's what we're doing now. It's fixing to put some limit switches on. Let me open this bag here. All right, let me get y'all the other camera where y'all can see it. In case you want to see what's going on. So I got limit switches now, and they're identical. They do have these little short pigtails, and that's pretty handy because if you ever damage them by tearing these little metal things off the top of them, makes them easier to replace. Speaking from experience, I have had a couple of them get caught on some of these machines before because they weren't in a position that was good for not getting snagged on stuff. So get my appropriate hex driver here, which is going to be a 1.5. All right, and it looks like, all right, it says install X-axis limit switch. It says pay attention to the hole position. I mean, I'm not real sure what I'm supposed to be paying attention to. It's got 2 holes. This has got 2 holes. I think I'm good. So I'm going to get that little screw there, just get it started. I'm going to put this other one in. Being that this is a plastic switch, I'm only going to snug these screws down to the point where it does not move. You do not want to over tighten these because you're liable to just split it like an old hickory nut, make it fall apart on you. So while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and plug some of this stuff in too, even though it don't tell me to. Well, I said I was. I may wait because, yeah, let me give it a minute. All right. Number 6. Well, wait a minute. There's a Y limit and an X limit. I got that one. That one goes on the gantry right there. I see the screw holes on it. Not sure why it's saying be careful and watch, pay attention to the holes, but whatever. I am going to put the little spades down. It just seems like the way that they should go. Mm-hmm. All right. 6, connect cables. All right. So I think we're on the downhill slide on this thing. So I'm going to put my tools up there. All right. So this is going to go to the gantry here. This is going to be a limit switch for the x-axis here. All right. This is going to be the cabling for the stepper. Go ahead and get that connected. This will end up on the module, which I don't know what I did with the module. Where did I set the module? Right here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the wires on the module before I put the module on. That guy's got 2 plugs on the back of it. So kind of pipe that around. Not a fan of these little screws. They've got them in here, and my fingers are way, like I said, it's one of those situations where they just assume folks' fingers is the same size, and they're not. So I got that on there. All right, got my little Y limit switch here. And connect that. We've got a couple of plugs going to the main controller here. That one. Wow, that's going to be snug. The main board. Then I got this little second one. Get that snapped in there. All right, so everything, I already hooked the back one up. So all my wiring should be connected. So before I go to do anything else, let's make sure. So air pump, cable management, and then focusing. So that's pretty much it. So we should technically, I should be able to fire this baby up. I'm not done with the cable management yet, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure everything works properly before I finalize the cables. Then once I make sure everything works, moves like it's supposed to, ain't got no problems, then we'll put all of the zip ties in place. And that's another one of those things that I've had to learn over time. Don't go to doing all your final cable management until you make sure you ain't fixing to have to tear it apart and put it back together, because that does happen sometimes. I think this is like number 60 for lasers I've put together. I know it didn't look like it with that belt fiasco we had going a while ago. All right. So, all in all, we should be able to put power to this dude now. That's a cable that I really don't need. I'm going to use one of the cables that I already have. Because that one's not quite as long as I need it to be. All right, who wants to take wagers on whether it works or not? What is it? Who wants to take wagers on whether it powers up? Anybody? You think it's going to work? Is it going to work or is it not going to work? All right, so I got the keys. I got the keys to it right here. So power is plugged up, is over here. I'm going to release the safety kill switch because I know that thing always gets pressed in shipping. Put my little key in right here. Is on red, so I'm going to flip it over to green and hit the power button. All right, now let's see if we can get it to work in Lightburn. Oh, I'm gonna need to move that out of the way. All right, so all right. Luckily for me, this is not my first go around with longer, so I don't have to set this one up all the way. There's my longer B131. I see that. That's going to be my profile. So got that added. Okay. 30-watt profile there. Waiting for connection. Blah, blah, blah. Boy, that homing speed going to need to be adjusted. Okay, maybe this one's a little different than my other one. So let's do this differently. Let's remove that one. All right. Devices. Hang on. Power it back up. Devices. Find my laser. It's being real slow. Trying to see what the SD card is in here. See if I got a profile on it. All right, so all right, we'll let that run for a few minutes. This is not working. And hung it up. So well, all right, devices, import. Huh. All right, let's start over again. Okay, that's being crazy. The darn module was slid over against the homing, against the limit switch. It didn't pull off earlier. That's the problem. Okay, so all right. It's still doing some weird stuff. Something ain't right. All right, we're gonna have to do some testing here. Something ain't right. It's doing weird stuff. It's jittering everywhere. So I'm gonna hit the. I'm gonna do some just basically. I'm gonna get this machine cut off. It's connected. So I'm gonna move it to the right and make sure it moves right. Uh, 20, 100. All right. So that works. So now I'm going to move it up. Oh, there's the problem. Try to move it down. That's not working like it's supposed to. So I'm going to go back left, left, right, right. Okay, so we've got a problem somewhere with it trying to go the wrong direction for some reason or another. So I'm going to go over here, edit, device settings. It's got the home origin is set to front left. That appears to be correct. I don't know why the Z is even turned on. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so there's a cat. Watch this. Oh, she moved. All right, let me go check and see if I've got something too tight or whatever on the y-axis, because that's where it's having the problem at. Found it. I got a pin pulled out of the stepper plug back here. So that's probably what's causing it. And so I don't know how it came out, but it came out. Apparently, when it was being plugged in, the pin popped out of the plug itself. That's going to be a pain. If I can get it, I'm assuming it just goes right back into there. That's where it should go. All right, so I got it in there. If I can just get it to connect to the stepper now without popping back out. It was probably somebody's big fingers. All right. All right, so I think I got it connected. Oh, I'm on the limit switch. Hang on. All right, so let's try it again. Let's go right, left, back, forward. All right, so that worked. Let's try homing it now. Oh, that home speed is slow. All right. Yeah, we're going to be adjusting the homing speed on this thing, guys. Woo! That is bad. That is terrible. All right, so now let me just try to do the navigation here. See how fast it'll move on it without being homing. All right, so now you get to see. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go to machine settings, right? Before you do anything here, guys, I cannot say this enough. See all this stuff right here? Save the file. All right, that's step one before you even get in here messing around. Trust me, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. You do not want to go messing with these unless you've backed it up. So what I always like to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a file called stock underscore controller. All right. And I'm going to save that to that file. So now if I change anything and for whatever reason, I messed the machine up to where it will not work, I can always go back and hit load from file and I can load the stock controller settings right here. And it's just like you took it out of the box again. So I'm going to go in here to output settings. Yes, yes. So we're going to go down to homing. Hang on, where's the travel? Homing seek rate. There we go. Homing feed rate, slow. Homing seek rate. This is in millimeters a minute. So I want I wanted to go to 100 a second. So we're like 6,000. I guess, hang on. Let me check, make sure I'm right. For some reason, that don't sound right. No, that's right. It just looks like a big number. All right, so millimeters per minute here. I wanted to go 50. So we're going to go, no, I'll go, we'll go 2,000. All right. So I'm going to write that to the controller. Okay. All right. Now we're going to see what our new homing speed looks like. All right. That's mo better. Mo better. So now if I'm out here in the far reaches of the machine's work area, it's not going to take me half an hour to home it. That's actually probably a little hot. I don't know how accurate that's going to be. As long as it's accurate, I really don't care. But just in case, let me get it back out there. And we'll readjust that. 6,000. We can go to 3,000. And then 1,000 for the slow. I'm gonna write that to the drive. And let's see. Oh yeah, that's reasonably fast. Yeah, I can live with that. Not too fast. It's not slamming into anything. The one thing I will tell you though is if you change this, do some accuracy testing. As long as your home is consistent, it's okay. But if your home is like, 1 second, it's like it's off every time you send it out, it's off a little bit, then you can slow the speeds back down and get it to where it's a little easier to work with. So let me grab that honeycomb they sent me right quick. That's a little smaller than what I probably could have used. But you know what? It's going to work. At least they sent me a honeycomb. I have got machines before and not had a honeycomb at all. Oh, these little things are a pain. Stand by. Yeah, at least the bed's magnetic. All right. So yeah, not a fan of these little small screws. I was really hoping they had gotten away from that, but they haven't. All right. So I got that on there. So let me grab our air assist pump. So just going to make sure everything works before we go to zip tying all of our stuff. And yes, it's not gonna have any exhaust hook to it, so it's gonna get a little smoky. The good news is though, with that big shield that's on it, there shouldn't be any danger to the cats because they're still running around here somewhere. So it's got that huge shield on it. They usually don't get near the machines when they're running anyway. So I'm gonna take and just gonna run this over here and connect it. I'm not planning on doing a whole lot with the machine until I get all my cable management done, but I do want to make sure it fires and everything works before I zip tie all this stuff together. So to get this, it's got a valve that comes with the air pump. I don't see me needing that, but you know, whatever. Let me rehome it, and I'm going to put a little cut in there, send it out, make sure that the air assist is coming on like it's supposed to. I used their file to set it up, so it should come on. If not, I'll have to adjust that, see where that goes. All right, I need to go up a little more. All right, so let me check. I don't see the laser coming on when I frame. That's because the laser is not turned on to come on when I frame. So I'm going to enable that on when framing. I'm going to set this for 1%. Hit OK. Now I should have a laser. Yeah, it's just hard to see with that cover on there, but we'll be taking that off before too long. So let me glass up here, and we're gonna see how well the machine does. See if it cuts. I'm gonna be running this cut right here at, let me go ahead and change the settings on this. 10 millimeters. Well, it's a 40 watt. Yeah, 10 millimeters on this material at 100% output. And of course, we're only running one pass on a line. So, and I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to frame this thing up. I'm going to do a circle frame. Smooth, running smooth. Everything looks good. So let's give her a cut. See what happens. Oh, that dropped that like a bad habit. Okay. So that was easy enough. let's crank it. Let's go up to some CO2, some 55-watt CO2 speeds. I'm gonna go to 20 millimeters a second. So I'm gonna move this up and to the right just a little bit. Frame that out. Looks good. I do not like where it's going. Hang on. All right, so edit, device settings, enable to return to is turned on, but it's got it going to 0, 0. That's why it's doing all that commotion. So I want it to go to Y0, but I want it to go to X0, but Y, what's that? 440? Yeah. So X0, Y 440 is going to be right there. That is what I like. I like that. I like for my machine to go there when I quit, when I get through doing a cut. So I'm going to go back in here. It's going to be return to finish, 0 and Y 440, which is going to be that back corner. We'll hit OK. All right. Another thing I like to do. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all can't see my screen. Another thing I like to do, other than like where I just set that, let me show you guys. 0, return to finish position, 0 and 440, what I got that set at. All right, that's going to put it back in that corner. And another thing I like to do is go over here, I'm going to manage locations. I'm going to add a new. This is my park location. And that's if I want to park it and just get it out of the way when I'm doing jobs or whatever. Like say if I frame this, we'll circle frame this. Well, hang on. Circle frame this. It's going to stay right there. So if I decide I need to move that material or whatever, I can go over here and I can click on where it says park. And it's going to send it back to that back corner back there and get it out of the way. Let me inspect this cut and see what it looks like. Okay, so the first one dropped clean. The second one, not so much. 20 millimeters a second is awfully fast. So we're gonna go down to 15 millimeters a second. I also need to check that air assist. That cut doesn't look like the air assist is working. I think that little valve may be off. So it came with this valve on there so you could like limit the air. I'm not all about limiting air. So we just took that little valve right there off and I'll put that in my toolbox, but we've got it hooked straight to the pump now. So I am going to slide over here and put my hand on that pump while this cut's running, just to see, make sure my air assist is working. So I'm going to resize that cut. We'll make it 40 by 40. That way it'll take a little longer. Ooh, that ain't going to hit nothing. That'd cut enough. So I'm going to cut that, but I'm going to let it run for a second so I can check that air assist, make sure it's putting out. Yes, the air assist is running, so that's good. "15 millimeters a second, and I got a little bit of contact coming through the back, but didn't quite cut it. So about 12, which that's not bad for this material at all. Frame it up. Well, I think scoots go in the frame, doesn't it? All right, let's hit start again. It's cutting through now because I can see the smoke coming out of the bottom of the honeycomb. Yeah, it went through. Not the prettiest thing I ever seen. So I think we're just going to stick with 10 for this material. I think I'm actually been running about 7 on my atom stack with this material. Just had to quit for a minute. It's starting to get smoky in here. Especially these bigger circles. Yeah, it's starting to get foggy. No, Jack, this is like 5mm birch. This stuff's tough. Like literally, like I don't consider myself to be a weak dude, but you can't hardly break this. Now, if you want to do some 3mm, there's some 3mm basswood right here. Let me find a smaller piece. This is some 3.75. It's got a little bow in it, though. I think it's going to probably hit. Awfully close to hitting. Let me change this to 20. That's a lot thinner stuff. No, still a little fast. Whew, I'm gonna have to wait till I put that in the closure before I can play too much more. I'll have to take my 70 watt out for a little while, play around with it. Because I've got it over there in Sabre right now. So I could take it out and move it around for a little while. But yeah. But it's moving good. It's getting too smoky in here for me to keep cutting. But so far, the actual movement on the machine is smooth. I'll do some testing and everything as far as checking my belt tension and stuff like that. Yeah, Mark, that piece of plywood was bowed. If I'd have tried to focus, if I'd have focused as close as that little cover is, if I'd have focused on that, it would have hit for sure. So that material right there is, I don't know where this came from, but you could make a boat out of it. Like it's crazy. Chris, I got enclosures, but these glasses work. I ran the first year and a half of me having a laser. All I did was wear glasses, and these glasses are like these aren't like glasses like that come with them. These things right here hug your head. They work really good. Nate, it's not entirely cold in here tonight. I had the heater on earlier, but it's done. I done turned it off. It got hot for a little while. But yeah, it's running smooth. I need to finish tying those cables and stuff up. But yeah, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. The longer machines, especially the B1s, the other ones I wasn't real crazy about. The what was it? The Ray 5, Ray 10s. Wasn't crazy about those, but I'm gonna tell you, I do like the B1 series. They did a good job on those. They got plenty of power. They move smooth. The one that I've had for ever, it runs good. Does a good job. They're not quiet though. So if you're big on stuff being quiet, they're not quiet. Dixie, yeah, I got a link. If you're ever looking for anything that I use here in the shack, if you'll just search for Amazon and the Clack Shack all in one time, it'll take you to my Clack Shack Amazon page. And there's all kinds of the gear is there. Hang on, I'll show you. Let's see here. So if you just go to Amazon, Clack Shack, or you can go to my website and search it that way, but you can go right here, and this takes you into my little site, so to speak. If you go down here to idea lists, and you can go to, where's it at? Hang on. Laser engraving blanks. We're lasers and accessories right here. And then once you get in here, these are all the things that you may see from time to time in my shop. These, if you plan on getting like a 1064 nanometer, like an IR module, if you plan on getting an IR module, go ahead and get these guys here. There's several different styles and several different pairs of these glasses, but these will cover you at 190 nanometers to 550, and then from 800 nanometers to 1100 nanometers wavelength. So if you're using an IR module and a blue diode, like if you're using the F1 or the F1 Ultra or something like that, these will actually help protect you from either machine. And you can see here, I purchased a pair of these back November 25th. Matter of fact, I think these are the ones I'm wearing. But that is that's a good option if you plan on having the different wavelength machine. If not, there's more of them in here. Like these are the ones that work with the 450. These work with the blue lasers, but they won't work with the IRs. So, you know, you got these that work with the blues. You got these that work with the blues and the IRs. And then you got these cloud rays that work with the, these will work with the 1064 nanometers, like the fiber lasers. So the IR and the fiber basically is the wavelength is 1064. So if you get these, you kind of get like 3 pairs of glasses in one, basically, or 2 pair of glasses in one. And they're OD6. They're a little darker. They're a little harder to see through, but that's just more protection for you. So, but yeah, that's I'll send you a link. I'll put it in the chat. But these are the multi-machine ones that I wear here. And I haven't scientifically tested them, guys, but I can tell you that these are the ones that I've been wearing. Those are the ones that I've been wearing ever since I've been doing this. And so far, I can still see. Now, I do avoid looking at the laser directly. Like even though this one's got the cover on it, I'm not going to look over there without the glasses. It's just too risky. Even in the enclosures, a lot of times you'll notice, even though I got them in the enclosures, I'm still wearing my glasses. It's just, you can't be too careful when it comes to that. So, but these glasses right here, like I said, these guys, you can see around, even around the edges, there's no, like, you can't see white light. If you ever start seeing blue light flashing with your glasses on, you might want to get a different pair of glasses. Guess I can turn that camera there off now. So, well, I still got to do my cable management though. Put some of my tools up, but yeah, it's a good machine. So there we go. If y'all got any questions, throw them out there, guys, because I'm just going to play around with getting the rest of the cable management done on this machine here. And then I'll figure out exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'm probably going to stick it over in the enclosure. This is where I used to have my 30 watt was over here where the 70 is now. That's where I kept it for the longest. But I may stick this one in there for a few days and play around with it. But I've done so many videos with my other longer. I really, to be honest with you, I don't want to do a lot of videos with it because I've already done, I don't know how many, probably 50 videos with the longer B1. But they insisted that I take it, play with it, and try it. And I had a buddy that needed a machine, so 2 birds, 1 stone. But yeah, so let me get you back over there for a minute. So the cool thing about this machine is it does have the air assist that is powered through Lightburn. So that's pretty awesome. And if you'll look, this is a little extensive as far as the length of the cabling, but it comes in handy because you can actually take the air assist pump. If you put this in your enclosure and you have a DIY enclosure like I have, you could technically you've got enough cabling that you could put this guy right here back behind the enclosure or somewhere and just run all this cabling all the way back to it. And you can have this front of the machine up here really clean. I wish they'd have done something different with this in a way, because I feel like that just gets in the way. I also don't really use these keys, but what I will tell you is don't keep both these keys in the same place in case you break or lose one. So what I'll do is I'll leave one in the machine and the other one's going to go in my toolbox. And I'll leave that one on. I don't know what this little button's for here. I don't remember my other one having that. I may have to see what that's about. I don't remember having this is a reset button. It does have the spot for the card here. Looks like it may have had an offline controller that could connect to it, but I don't have that. But yeah, all in all, like I said, the longer makes a decent machine. I can't complain. Let me get my toolbox and put all this stuff up here. So y'all got questions, comments, concerns? Y'all drop them in the comments, because if you don't ask the question, I can't answer it, guys. That's the way it works. This is how you know that you do way too much with lasers. Is when you have a toolbox like this that is just slap full of all these different parts. So I'm gonna put this key in this little box right here, so I'll have it, just so I don't lose it. But yeah, these are brand new relays that I've bought for air assist, and most of the machines now are coming with automatic air assist. And I don't run, like I'll outrig them with shop air automatic, but I've got, like, this is a relay. This is a relay. Like, I bought a bunch of these things, but like some of the machines are 12 volts, some of the machines are 24. So you have to swap that relay out depending on what machine has what. But yeah, all kinds of stuff. Like, I got regulators in here for shop air. You name it, it's in here. But yeah, it's my little laser toolbox. And these little fittings, so when you start hooking up your shop air and all that, I got tons of these little guys. I think I've ordered 3 sets of those fittings to outfit this whole shop. But yeah. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about the longer? Has anybody else in here got one of these that wants to share any information on the machine? Yeah, I don't. So I got to do a little cable management with some of this stuff. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put this big bundle of wires right here, but I do not like where they currently are. So I'm going to cut that little zip tie right there loose. We're going to do something different with that, because when this thing comes forward to go home, it just seems like that's in the way. No, I guess it's going to have to stay right there. Need to train that cable a little bit. Because the module, it's missing it, but by George, it's close. I just don't like the way it looks. So I guess we'll leave that where it's at. Really ain't a better place to put it. I do want to put this other little wire for this limit switch in there with it, though. Yeah, the routing on this one little wire right here kind of looks like it could have been done a little differently. I don't know where they would have put it, but it would have made me feel better if it went route differently. All right, that ought to do it. Let's got that limit switch wire held up with it. Keep them both together, so that ought to help. What we got over here in the comments? This this one, I think they had it listed in the profile a while ago as like, well, the longer profile that I added to the machine, they've got it listed at 450 by 440. So that sounds about right. So you're looking at a 450 wide by 440 tall. So it's a little bigger than a lot of the machines in this class, but yeah, I usually use a 500 by 500 honeycomb with them. Robbie, I don't know if I'm going to be getting one of those apparel printers. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what I would do with it. I don't do a lot of t-shirt stuff. I've got a local company that makes like my shirts and hoodies and stuff that I wear. If if I had room in my shop, I wouldn't mind having one where I could do some of my own, like, like one-off merch type stuff, like just cool t-shirts for me to wear or something. But I don't really have the time. And from what I'm hearing with those DTF machines, they kind of like a lot of maintenance, even if you're not using them. There's X Tools saying that they've got it worked out to where this one does a lot of it. It's like automated already. So that's a plus, but I just don't know. Not against, that kind of stuff, but I don't have the space for it. I don't think it would fare well here in the shack with all of my dusty machines sitting around and cats crawling around, and I just don't know that this is the best environment for it. When I get my new shop, hopefully next year, maybe then I would have enough room that I could, in the dry and away from the dust and stuff, that I could have something like that. But I just don't know that it's going to be happening anytime soon. I'm hoping, like I said, if Lord willing, I'm hoping to have my new shop shortly after I retire. I'm saving every penny I can to try to, at least let me get started on it. And I'm going to try to do as much of the work as I can myself. As long as I don't start slowing down progress, I'm not going to start this project and let it take me 3 years to get my shop built. So if I can get it done in a decent amount of time, I'm good with me doing a bulk of the work or a lot of the work. But I'm not gonna be the reason my shop takes forever to get built. That's not gonna happen. Before I do that, I'll just have to break down and pay somebody to do it that knows what the heck they're doing. I do, luckily for like the electrical and stuff like that, I do have friends and family that can come and check behind me. Let's put it that way. Make sure I do things right. They can be the supervisor. I don't really care for this really flexible hose because I like to have my zip ties tight, and I'm afraid that one's too tight. I'm afraid I'm going to cut off the airflow with my zip ties, which I probably will. But yeah. So hopefully come October the 1st, we can have an update on the Shack version 2. Because I plan on having it going by then. That'll be about the time I'm getting good and retired. And I'm hoping I can get the dirt work and all that done, because up here where I live and behind my house here, where the new shop's gonna go, there's gonna be a pretty substantial bit of dirt work that's got to be done. So I'm gonna try to get started on that, hopefully in the fall of this year. Some of it I may be able to do myself, but to be honest, if it's going to take me too long, it may be better for me to just pay somebody else to come do it. Just got bigger equipment, because me and my little old tractor, we can do a lot, but I don't know that I want to go trying to get rid of all them hickory trees and stuff that are up there and get them stumps dug up. I'll end up tearing up my tractor and cost myself more money than I would if I just paid somebody else to bring a bulldozer over and do it. So that looks like that's about got that. It's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do with this cable here. So maybe one more on that mess right there on the gantry. So I tell you one thing that I want to start when I get my new shop. I'm going to have me an office instead of having to do, woodworking and lasering and CNC and all in the same room. I'm hoping to have me like a little office up there. And I want to start like a map. I want to make me a map, whether it's a CNC map or I get my buddy Tim up at the print shop to print it out for me or whatever. I want to do a map. And that way, in the future, if you guys wants to come by here or whatever, you could put a pin on there. But I've also thought about just getting a really big television and having a virtual map, letting you guys doing it that way. So, but yeah, I got it mostly assembled the way it's going to be. I still don't like that cable set up in the back right there. I don't know why I'm so picky about cable management, guys, but I can't stand to look at something and wires be all out of place. There's been, matter of fact, I tell Steve this all the time. That was one of the reasons that I didn't buy certain CNC machines when I was looking at them, is because everybody's machine that I saw had just wires hanging off the sides of it, all back like along the table. There's just wires just hanging, and I'm like, I can't live with that. I can't handle that. And so I didn't buy that machine. Now I will say they've adjusted that. They fixed that problem with the newer ones, but that's the reason I have a black and silver CNC instead of an all silver and black CNC. All right. Well, guys, it is officially in one piece. And it works really well. Actually, Jack, no, I was hang on. Actually, Jack, I was actually talking about the Onefinity. Because if you remember the old Onefinities, when I was looking at buying mine, the Onefinities then, they had that They had that little tablet controller or whatever. And everybody's videos that I saw, that I watched, and I watched a lot of videos with Winfinities, and CNC Labs was just getting started good. Like they had the long mill out, but it was a little, it seemed a little more DIY at the time than what it is today. And so I was kind of like, you know, their company hadn't been around that long. And so I was leaning heavily towards Winfinity and Shapeoko. And actually, I was looking at X-Carve machines in the beginning, but it didn't take me long to realize that X-Carve wasn't for me. It just, you know, the price that they wanted, and some of the things about the way they had the machine built, the software, and the fact that you couldn't really modify it like aftermarket stuff. You had to basically, everything was kind of through them or nothing. That made me decide that I didn't want to go with X-Carve. I eliminated them quick. So I wound up looking at Winfinity as well as the Shapeoko and CNC Labs. And the reason that I wound up going with the Shapeoko basically is I sent out emails, and I was like, you know, I told them, I was like, hey, look, I do YouTube. This is what I plan on doing with the machine. I don't want a free machine. I'm not asking for a free machine, but I would like to know if you have an affiliate program that I can participate in. And the only company that emailed me back about anything about an affiliate program was Carbide. And they're like, yeah, we have one. I was like, well, that's cool. I just feel like if I'm going to make content with your machine, it's only fair, you know? And so that's where that's how we started it. And I'm really glad though, because I really, if I'd have got a Winfinity, I'd have been cool with that too. I like them. I think they're great machines. But my whole thing in a nutshell was, if I'm going to sit over here and crank out videos with a machine, and people are going to say, yeah, I like that machine, I want to buy it, you can at least let me have an affiliate program. I think they've changed some of that since, maybe. Or maybe it's just because my channel was so small at the time that I wasn't like, you know, they didn't care. But hey, it worked out. I got me a great machine. I've had no issues with it other than, you know, me having my head up my rear end a couple of times and snapping a couple of bits, which is going to happen. Mostly because work holding is important. You don't think it is, but holding that piece of material in one spot is very important, because if it moves, bad things happen. Like bits break typically. I mean, you're not going to hurt the machine. That machine would like rip that garage door off if you tied it to it, as long as the table didn't slide. But those 1/4-inch carbide bits bust like glass if you put them in too much of a bind with that thing, and it'll snap them. Like, but you'll hear it make a noise like and then pow, and it gets just quiet. So Dixie, Lightburn, you can typically USB is going to be the best bet. There are ways to connect Lightburn to machines wirelessly. Some machines work better than others. The Otur LaserMaster 3, I used to run it on wireless. It did a great job. Most of these machines you can operate wirelessly. Typically, it's going to be through their own app that you have to connect, because what basically happens is the machine broadcasts a wireless ID, and so you can send files to it and do basic controls to it. But for the most part, just count on using a USB cable. If you run it for a long ways, make sure you use a USB 3. If it's too far, you're definitely going to want to have a powered USB hub, which is what that is right there. That's a powered USB hub on that beam right there. And I run a cable from my computer up and over, and then from there to there is just a standard USB cable. But that makes sure that I don't have any connectivity issues with the computer, because the voltage in a USB cable will drop significantly if you're running like a 25-foot USB like I'm doing. But by putting that powered USB hub over there, that kind of steps it up and increases the range of that USB cable. So makes it work a lot better. No problems. I've got an extra lens in here too. That's cool. I still don't know why they sent me 2 air assists, but that was cool of them. I needed an extra air assist. There is a way, and it's you have there's a way you can control these machines over network, but I'm telling you, it ain't worth it. Just stick with USB. Worst case scenario, if you want to control it wirelessly, I don't do it. I don't do it. I mean, like I said, the Otor LM3 worked great on wireless. If you're using XCS, X-Tool products work great on wireless. But for the most part, the Atom Stacks and some of the other machines that I've ran, wireless is just not. It's not great. Not if you're planning on being connected to the internet and trying to connect to the laser. It just creates issues. Hello, Fluffy. We're down to 250 days, guys. Can anybody else believe that? 250 days. And if you subtract weekends from that, let's see here. So if I take the 250 days, and today's Friday, so we'll divide that by 7 days. All right. That's 35.7 weeks. So we'll just say 35. All right. So 35 weeks, 2 weekend days per week. So that's 70 days that are actually holidays. So if you take the 250 and subtract the 70 days that are actually weekends, that means technically I've only got about 180 days to work. So that's cool. Really glad. Really glad. What are we taking a risk on? What are we taking a risk on? We're talking about wireless. Hold on. Wrong one. Yes. Longer is coming out with a machine, and they've asked me if I'll take it. I'm going to email them back, and we're going to discuss it. But they're coming out with I've got their Longer Nano, the original one. I was one of the matter of fact, I think I was maybe the first. They sent the machine to me back when it was in Kickstarter. The Nano, when it was first in Kickstarter, they sent it to me, and I did a video with it. Let me see when that video was. I don't want to lie to you guys. But it was I liked it with Lightburn by itself. I wasn't crazy about the little add-on parts. March the 9th is when I did that video. So I got the Nano March the 9th. It was in Kickstarter. The one I got was like a prototype. It had some issues with some of the peripherals, with the rotary and all that stuff. And it worked in their software, but it did not work in Lightburn. And they had told me it was going to work in Lightburn. And so there was some back and forth between us because I was a little perturbed that it didn't work in Lightburn. And I had kind of told them I would do the videos. But they have since made improvements to the machine. They've changed it. And in their software, like I said, it runs pretty well. They've upgraded their software. So I don't know. We're going to have to discuss the machine. If they'll send me just the machine without all the parts, because even the F1 and the F1 Ultra, I don't like the conveyors. I just don't. But if they would send me just the machine, I would probably agree to take it and do a video with it, because it wasn't. I liked the Nano. I liked the machine. My buddy that does cutting boards, he was looking for a way of putting his logo on cutting boards, and like on the corner of some of them, he wanted to put like little small designs and stuff like that. And he mentioned wanting one. So I was like, well, come over to the shop. I'll show you a machine. I think you'll like it, whatever. He came over, showed him how it worked. And last time I saw him, I talked to him about it, and he said it was doing a really good job. And he's got it to where he just runs it from his phone using the app from Longer. And he's got his graphic on his phone. And so he literally just sets it on the cutting board and fires it with the app. And then he goes back to making cutting boards in his shop. And he loves it. So I wouldn't mind taking the Nano and trying it out with a new one with the 2-watt IR. But we'll see. We haven't really got into conversation about it. Yeah, that was Tiger. Tiger's the one cat that I have that y'all probably don't see a whole lot. But because it's getting cold, I guess she decided to come and go and get in the bed. But there's a bunk bed up there for cats that I built when before I got the CNC, I was just doing like little woodworking projects. And I made it out of some scrap wood. And there's actually a bunk bed up there. We use old pillows. My wife replaces our pillows pretty regular in the house. And so we took some of the old pillows that we had in the house, and I made this bunk bed to fit a pillow. Like the pillow is the mattress. And so they've got a ladder and everything, which they don't use a ladder. The ladder is just for looks. But there's a ladder on their bunk bed, and they've got a bunk bed up there that they sleep on. So you'll see the cats going in and out from up there. That's because that's where they sleep at. I'll be in here running CNCs, lasers. Like, it'll be noisy. You won't know there's a cat anywhere. And then one of my daughters or my wife can come in here and say something, and there's 3 cats come running down them steps right there. Matter of fact, Callie is over there right now. I'll show you this weird cat right here. This cat has she quit doing it. Golly. She doesn't lean over in the water and drink. She takes her foot and pulls the water up to her mouth and then licks it off her foot. I don't know. I got the camera set up where you can see it now, I think. Yeah, I'll wait till she goes over there again. She goes over there and starts drinking. I'll show it to you. But I don't know if anybody else's cat does that or not, but mine does. Like, she uses her foot like a spoon. Oh, wait a minute. I think she's going back over there. I'm going to pretend not to watch. Oh, she's at the food. She's not at the water. But yeah, Dixie, they have a bunk bed up there. It's all the way behind that black curtain. That's why there's a black curtain there. When I first started doing lives, the bunk bed sat right there, and the cats would literally be up there with their leg up in the air, grooming themselves in the background while I was doing a live. And so I put that black curtain up there so that they could have some privacy and so that they wouldn't be starring in all my lives. So, Scott, you got one that drinks like that? Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Mine's not totally messed up, but she's over there eating now. But their food and water stays right there so that I can make sure I keep it cleaned and filled and all that, because these were supposed to be my daughter's cats, but they turned out to be my cats, apparently. But anyways, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was an anti-cat. Like, I didn't like cats. I didn't want a cat. I didn't want a cat nowhere near my house, for years. Well, then one day it was during the summer. It was hot, and I was needing to bush hog some property, down around the edge of the road and stuff like that where the lawnmower can't go. I was getting ready to go do some bush hogging, and it was hot that day. And so that's back when my tractor used to park right here where I'm sitting. So I jumped on my tractor, put the key in it, turned the switch. Nothing happened. I'm like, oh, that ain't good. Because, it didn't do nothing. It didn't click, tick, didn't whine. It did nothing. I'm like, well, that is not good. So I sat there and messed with it. It wouldn't do nothing. So I raised the hood, checked the battery connections. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with it. So I shut the hood on the tractor. And when I shut the hood on the tractor, guys, it looked like somebody had this cup right here slapped full of acorns and just poured them out from under the dash of the tractor. Like, there was acorns just fell everywhere. And that's when it hit me. I know why my tractor ain't cranking now. So I take the dash off of the tractor, and a chipmunk, squirrel, rat, something had got up in there and built itself a house. Well, apparently all the wires that went to the switch and all the controls and stuff in my tractor, apparently those were in his way. And so it chewed through them and cut them, chewed them up so that it could build a house there. And so I spent in this shop, but this is before it had air conditioning and all that, in 100-degree weather, I spent half a day fixing the wires on my tractor to get it to crank. I want to say it was the next week that I told my daughter she could have a cat, because I was like, as much as I don't want a cat, I do not want rats, squirrels, chipmunks, whatever, chewing the wires on my expensive pieces of equipment either. And so that's when I got the cats. And since I have had the cats, I can honestly say the only rats or mice I've seen in this shop were the half-eaten ones that they bring into the shop. So there's no traces or signs of mice, except for, like I said, the dead ones. They'll bring dead ones in here, but you can always tell when they have a dead one because they'll come through the door over there meowing really loud. I want you to look at them. And so that's because I mean, could you imagine if I had mice in here now with all these machines? I mean, one mouse on a chewing spree could wreak havoc. So I'm very thankful to have the cats in here now. Now, when I get to my new shop, I'm probably just going to have to hope that they keep them killed from the outside, because I don't know that I want them in there. Well, Biscuit's over there sticking his head through the door as we speak. Oh, you can't see him. Hang on. Y'all see that? That's what I have to put up with. He knows he can't fit through there. That's a cat door. That is a 80-pound dog trying to come through a cat door. That's exactly what that is. And he sits right there. He'll sit right there with his head in here and stare at me and want me to let him in. So that's what he does. What do you want? All right, hang on. Let me see if he'll come in. Come on. Come on. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up and let the heat out. Come on. Come on. Here. Yeah. Definitely not the most obedient dog. Come on. Yeah, he's not the best trained dog in the world. And these guys, he just likes sticking his head through the door. Guys, I'm telling you, he's just like, I mean, let's stick my head right here. Hang on, where's he at? Oh, there he is. There he is. What are you doing? Callie's over here like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to let a dog in the house? Look, if I come over there to let you in, you're going to have to come on. What are you doing? You got to come in if you're going to cool. Come on. Come on. Come on, hurry up. Hey, come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. You big doggy. He ain't wanting to do nothing but play. He's wanting me to come outside and play. He like ran at me and then took off running. Y'all see what I put up with around here? Like, that is just, it's constant. Look at that big head. There he comes. He's going to get his head stuck in there. You're going to get your head stuck. And then you ain't going to be able to get your head out of there. And the cats ain't going to be able to get out because your big head's stuck in the door. Do you want me to let you in? All right, I'm going to try one more time to let this dog in. Come on. Come on. Come on. He's goofy. He is goofy. He just took off running across the yard. Look, that's just what he does. He just wants to lay there and look at me. Somebody's asking about the Ohm Tech. I like it. They as far as tumblers, I was really wanting to do tumblers with it. Their rotary it lacks for what I want to do with it. So I'm gonna have to do some modifying to that to get a different one. Hey, quit chewing on that. He is chewing on it. This dog and his chewing. He is over there. Quit. You're going to get your butt beat for that. He done ate up half the box. He unboxed the longer for me. Got lucky he didn't tear nothing up. Let me see if I can get him come inside again. Y'all see what he's doing. He is just sitting there. Just that's what he's doing. That and chewing on the dog door, the cat door. So let me try it one more time. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here, if I just leave the door open and come back over here, what you gonna do? Come on. Shut the door behind you. Come on. Come on. You want some cat food? You want some cat food? He's like, where them cats at? Where them cats at? You go shut the door. Now shut the door. It's cold out there. Learn to close the door behind yourself over there. Yeah, see, I knew what he was wanting. He goes over there and eats the cat food. Look behind me. She's like, what's going on down there? She's like, what's going on down there? But yeah, it's a mess over here. I'm telling you. Between the stray dogs and then of course my cats all of them are orphaned cats that I picked up at work. It's just a madhouse over here. Anyway, it's been a while. 2 hours and 29 minutes, guys. I know it's Friday night, so I really ain't got nowhere to be, so I can't make excuses. But I know you guys probably got some stuff you want to do or some videos need to be made. Need to go watch. Steve's trying to get himself together. Y'all know he's been under the weather since Vegas. Because I texted him today to check on him because I was like, dude, you ain't seen much out of you. And so he's hopefully going to get straightened up and get to where he can work a little better. Scott, I thought about something earlier. Make sure with your machine, make sure your firmware is up to date. That was the thing when I was having issues with the conveyor to start with. That was a big thing. So check and make sure that the firmware is up to date. I think you have to put Atom Stack's software on your machine and run it that way. And just check it and see if the firmware for the machine is current. Because that's kind of bothered me. Maybe they was wrong about it not working. Dixie, it depends on what you're wanting to do. It's like I tell people all the time. If you're wanting to, you wouldn't go buy a Prius to pull a trailer, and you wouldn't go buy a F-250 just to run to the grocery store and back every now and then. Machines need to be bought based on what it is you plan on doing with it. And if you don't know what you plan on doing with it, then, if you're just wanting it for a hobby, just something to play with, then that opens up a pretty wide area. But I would say before you figure out what machine that you want to get, sit down, go through the internet, look at the forums, look at the groups, figure out exactly what kind of stuff that you feel like you would have fun making, or if you're wanting to do it for money that you feel like you could sell in your area. Do your homework and make sure that that's something that the machine that you're getting is going to accomplish the goal at hand. you know, longer. Like I said, that machine is a good machine. They sell that machine in, do they have a 10? I think it's a 20. Hang on. It said it on this little profile. Yeah, 20, 30, and a 40. They sell this machine in a 20, 30, and a 40. It's not a bad machine, but there's a lot of machines out there that are similar. If you can swing it and you have the room to put it, enclosed machines are really nice. But now at the same token, enclosed machines can also limit what you can and cannot do unless you have a pass-through, which is an added expense to get a pass-through. So there's a lot of things you need to consider. But if you see one that you think that would serve the purpose that you want, just do your homework, do your research, watch my videos, watch other people's videos to figure out exactly what it is that you would like to do with it. Let's see, the 20 watt on Amazon right now is like $800 for this machine and a 20 watt. A 20 watt will do a lot of stuff. Like you can cut with a 20 watt. You're not going to be cutting really, really fast, but you can cut with a 20 watt. You can do engraving with a 20 watt. They're kind of all around machines. Like the X-Tool S1, the 20 watt X-Tool S1. That's a good starter machine if you need an enclosed machine. The Rolly MK2. Like I said, they come in a 30. I think they're fixed to come out. I think they come out with the 20 and the 30s. And so that's a good machine. There's lots of good machines, but you've got to figure out, do you have the room for it? Do you, the projects that you're wanting to do, are they going to fit in there and all that kind of stuff? You taking a break from eating over there, Biggin? But the projects is going to be the determining factor. Well, the MK3, I'm very anxious to see what that thing looks like. Leo sent me an email and says I'm going to try one out, but we'll see. Yeah, Paul saying the longer is great. Started with the Ray 5 10 watt, went to the 20 watt, and just ordered the 40 watt module. Yeah, the Rays, the longer Rays, they're a little more simple as far as they don't have quite the bells and whistles, but yeah, they're a very capable machine. I did a video on I think it was the longer Ray 10 watt that I had, and it done a good job. I mean, so Adam Stack has some affordable machines. Like I said, Algo Laser, Asmer. There's a bunch of different brands out there. You're going to see mixed reviews on all of them. Some people are going to hate X-Tool. Some people are going to hate Adam Stack. Some people, I mean, it's all the components are very similar. The way they work are very similar. So, just figure out what you want to do with it and go from there. What are you doing over there? Hey, come here. Come here. He ain't the brightest thing. He's a sweet dog. He tears up packages, and he ain't real highly trained. I'm gonna try to work on that because I can't have him eating my packages. This is what this longer machine that we just put together. That's what the box looked like. Like that's the box that this longer machine was in, and it didn't come like that off the truck. They propped it up against the back porch of the house, and somebody opened it up and got the glasses out and was in the front yard playing with the glasses. Luckily, that's what, when he ripped into it, that's what was there, was the cheap glasses that I don't use anyway. So we've got to work on that because I can't have a dog that's going to be tearing up packages. Max, my K9 that passed, never had a problem with him doing it. My female shepherd Rogue, she doesn't mess with packages. So this guy here is going to have to learn that is a no-go. Now, I will give him bonus points. He doesn't mess with the cats. Let me see here. Where's it? Come on. He doesn't mess with the cats, so that's a good thing. Come on. But he's a sweet little dog. He just he's got to learn not to tear up packages. Because I can't have a dog running around the yard playing catch with a machine that costs, as much as these machines do. I'd be very upset and not very happy. But yeah, where'd you go now? Get over here and lay down somewhere. You want to go outside now, ain't you? But he don't really like coming inside, but he comes in here, eats the cat food, and then he'll mess with the cats a little bit. And see, like now he's over there trying to go back out the cat door. I don't know why he thinks he can fit through there. But anyway, well, hello there. Welcome aboard. There's Paul. Appreciate you. We occasionally do have some members only lives and closet clean outs and whatever the case may be. Joe Grady says, I have an 02 or 3 10 watt, works okay, but not powerful. Would it be worth it to get a new laser head for the machine? From 02 seems expensive for just a laser head. Yeah, I've got a 20 watt 02. Matter of fact, I don't have it in the shop, but I've had the 20 watt 02 Laser Master 3. It's not a terrible machine, but I will tell you that economically speaking, especially if you've got like high miles on that machine, a lot of times it's probably better just to get a 20 watt machine, like built from the ground up. And then, you can still use the 10 watt for engraving. Because engraving wise, especially the LM3, the way that it operates, typically it does a really good job at fast engraving. But you might be better off to just go ahead and bite the bullet and just get a 20 watt machine, because I would hate for you to upgrade the module, and then because it's an older machine, end up having like a board issue or an issue with some other part of the machine, and it go down. So I was always a big advocate of just getting multiple machines. My first machine was an X-Tool D1 10 watt. And then my second machine was an X-Tool D1 20 watt. So that's how I got started in it. What machine are you looking at getting, Dixie? Dixie, what machine are you looking at getting? You said you put the deposit down. Like I said, there's lots of good ones out there that I would say would work really well. It just depends. Depends on what you got going. Yeah, the Rolly, like I said, and that's another thing. The Rolly, I like the Rolly. I've got an hour module for my S1, but that's the only machine that I've ever gotten an hour module for, because you don't want it to be too big of a hassle to swap those modules out, or you won't ever use it. I do have the ASMR P3 with the was it a 10 watt, 2 watt? What are you doing over there? Why are you breathing heavy? Don't be over there messing with cats. I ain't no telling what that dog's up to. But yeah, it's like I said, 20 watt machines are a good starter machine if you've never been into it. But you will go up quick. Dixie, the X1 Ultra, the F1 Ultra. You talking about that one? The F1 Ultra. Now it's the F1 Ultra is a great machine for smaller stuff. Tumblers, small things, especially like metal. It's great. But you're not going to do any real big stuff with the F1 Ultra. But like smaller things that, like I do a lot of, like these little anodized aluminum things like this. That's a tester, by the way. These are the ones, like if I mess up on them, I keep them in here, because sometimes I'll give them to people that actually legitimately need a bottle opener. But like for these, the F1 Ultra does a great job. It'll do plastics. It'll do woods. Just smaller stuff. You're just not going to be doing anything real big because of the fact that the work area is small. With the belt conveyor that they have, you can do like signs and stuff that are longer. And you can do the batch stuff. I didn't have very good luck with the accuracy on the automatic batch setup with the conveyor. Maybe that was settings on my part. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But my thing is, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, it does great on it, because I couldn't get it to do great on it. It did okay. I've seen people that have had videos that they've put out where theirs did much, much better than mine. Maybe I did something wrong. But the conveyor for the F1 Ultra works good for, like, if you're wanting to do a board that's, a couple of feet long, you can use that conveyor to do that longer board and get a little bit bigger work area out of the machine. So now the dog just comes over here and lays his head in my lap and wants me to pet him. So yeah, the fibers, the fibers can be cool, but you've got to figure out what you're going to do with it if you're trying to make money with it. If you're just trying to play, they're awesome to do. Like I don't know what to do with it. I think I left it in my buggy. I took it with me in the buggy the other day. But like I got these little knives and stuff that I play around with. Like this knife here. I put this cool little honeycomb pattern on the knife. Stuff like that. I mean, it's on both sides. I got two different versions of it. Stuff like that. The fibers are cool to be able to do stuff. But, if that's not something that you're planning on doing, you might not need it as much. What? What are you barking about? Let me let him out. He's wanting out now. What are you wanting? What are you doing? What? Comes in, eats the cat's food, wants to go. Yeah, I wouldn't. The Ultra is one of those that you kind of need to leave it in place, in my opinion. There's a reason why they didn't put a handle on top of that one, and it is not exactly light. And something that expensive and that heavy, I don't know that I'd want to be toting it around just in case. But yeah. Oh, hey, thank you there, Rob. Welcome aboard, sir. Like I said, I don't do a whole lot with this whole member thing. I do appreciate the ones of you that want to contribute to it. And occasionally we do have like little members only lives, and like, sometimes there may or may not be things that I don't need in the shop anymore. but you never know. Dixie's asking, what are the two to the right of the F1? That's the F1 Ultra, of course. I've got the F1. I had it out last night, but it's back in my trailer. I use it for events when I go to do events and stuff. I mark stuff with it. That one is a Monport 30-watt MOPA. This one, the F1 Ultra, is a blue laser. It's the 20-watt blue laser and a 20-watt fiber laser, which is the 1064. This is a 30-watt MOPA, which is the same as a fiber, but the way it modulates, the way the frequency changes on it, it allows it to do some stuff that the regular fiber that is inside the F1 Ultra can't do. MOPAs are a little more expensive than standard fibers because of that, because they can do a little bit different stuff with metals. And then this one next to it is a 5-watt UV. And I didn't even know what a 5-watt UV was up until I got this one, really. I mean, I had seen some stuff on them, but I thought, it's a 5-watt. I don't want that. But it's actually, because of the wavelength of the beam and the way that it operates, it's actually does a lot of stuff. If I'm doing metal, probably not going to use the 5-watt UV. Even though it will engrave and do some stuff with metal, it's nowhere near as fast as the MOPA. But for plastics and stuff like that, somebody's challenged me to try to engrave solo cups without melting a hole in them. I plan on going to Dollar General tomorrow and finding some solo cups to see if I can put a Clack Shack logo on a solo cup without going through it completely. I'm wanting to try to get it to where I can just have a white logo on a red solo cup without leaking. That's the point that I'm going to try to do. So the UV is for very specific case use with certain materials. Glass, clear acrylics, it does excellent on. The only hang up I've had with glass is because it's a 5-watt galvo, and because of the lens that I'm using, it's not very forgiving with the focus. So if you've got something that's round, unless you put it in a chuck, it's really hard to make sure that to get a good, smooth, even engrave, because the focus is a little out. So I'm gonna mess around with the chuck and doing some glass. I had a guy that was supposed to be bringing me some shot glasses this weekend for me to do for. He's actually participating in the event that I'm participating in for the auction, and he wanted to do some shot glasses. He's into high end bourbon and like bourbon tasting and that kind of thing, and he wanted some customized shot glasses. And he messaged me earlier today and was like, "Hey, do you have time? Could you do me some shot glasses?" And I'm like, "As long as you'll get me a tester so that I can dial my settings in and get them to me, then yes." So yeah, that's where we're headed, is to try to figure out exactly what to do with the glass. Flat glass, like panes of glass, mostly flat glass, it does awesome. But when you start introducing that little curvature and contour, the focus gets a little out from where it likes to be, and it makes it a little more challenging. So you'll have like a really, really nice engrave in the middle, and then towards the edges as it rounds over, maybe not so nice. So that's what I'm trying to do now is dial that in and fix it to where I can get it to work a little better. No, Lance, that was actually one of you guys. It was one of the followers, one of the viewers sent me a message and was like, "I would really like to see if you can do red Solo cups." So I was like, "Hey, we'll try it and see." Because it was a good question. Because I mean, that is a very thin plastic. I did the little Ziploc, like little totes that you put like cookies and stuff in for Christmas. I did one of those, and it didn't hurt it. So I'm thinking that I should be able to do it, but I'm gonna have to dial the settings in. But luckily, Solo cups come in, a sleeve of 50 probably. I think there's usually around 50. But let me see if I can find that picture. I'll show you the picture of the one I'm talking about. I did the little food container. If I can find it. Oh, it's going to take forever like that. Hang on. Photos. Or did I do a video? Or did I do a picture? I thought I did a picture of that. No, I may not have. Because I know I did it before then. But yeah, fibers are cool because you can do stuff like this right here. Hang on. Fibers are cool because like you can this is just a cheap knife from Walmart, and you can make these like little designs on it and so forth. So that's what makes them cool. Let me see if I can find. I thought I had a picture of that plastic that I did, but I'm not seeing it anywhere. But I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna try the Solo cup thing because I think that's a pretty cool idea. I think that'll be a video that even though it's kind of dumb, I think people would actually watch it. So I'm probably gonna wind up doing that. But yeah, I have with this 5 watt, I have been marking all kinds of stuff. Like it's amazing how much stuff you can actually mark. Nathan, I can actually do like aluminum cans. I can do those. I've done those before with a diode. You can actually take like a Dr. Pepper can or anything like that. I used them in the early days. That was what I would use to set up my chucks and make sure my shapes were appropriate. Like sure my circles were circles and all that. That and believe it or not, spray paint cans. I would put those in the chuck and use them to practice with. But yeah, if you drink energy drinks or you drink canned drinks, those things are awesome to play around on a chuck with. If you really want to get creative, you can actually take those paint cans and paint them like red or blue with some spray paint or purple, pink, whatever. You can paint those Coke cans or soda cans or whatever you want to call them. And then you can put them in the chuck and run them on blue diodes, it's basically anodized aluminum. That's basically what you're doing. Is you're taking that can and it's basically anodized aluminum. So you can engrave and remove the coating and leave just the can. Let me see if Klein's been over here. Let me see if he left me a if he left me a can, a Dr. Pepper can, I can show you. Yeah, there's a Dr. Pepper can. Got a little Dr. Pepper in it though. All right. So like basically this is the same as far as like power settings and stuff like that. It's anodized aluminum. So which one y'all want to see do? Which one y'all want to see do this? The 30-watt MOPA, I could probably cut this can in half with. So I'm not going to get a chuck out and set it up because that would take way too long. Y'all want to see the Ultra? Which one? UV, Ultra? What we got? let me move this. Let me move this up here. Jack says try all of them. The Ultra. With the Ultra. Yeah, the Ultra will. I would imagine. Let me make sure I get all the Coke out of it because that Ultra is sticky in there. Let's see. Oh, y'all say y'all want me to try all of them. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me get a rag or something. I'm going to set it on a rag or something to keep it from rolling. That way it stays still. So hang on. All right. All right. So we're going to start off with the Ultra first, and we'll see how this goes. All right, so we got a new project right there in XCS. Give it a minute. All right, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select my F1 Ultra. Switch. All right. Connect. I just updated. Oh, I hope this don't give me a problem. I just updated XCS, so let's make sure it finds it. There we go. There we go. All right. Used to, when they first started coming out with all this different stuff, I don't need that. I'm good. Sometimes I would have to re-add the machine, but I have learned that if you just take your time and do that scan forward on the Wi-Fi like that, it typically will work. So I'm going to refresh my old background picture here, and you should see the Dr. Pepper. And I left a little spot pointed up right there so I could put me some text. And so what we're going to do so that we can keep track of whose engrave is what, we're going to put X tool F1 Ultra. All right, and I'm going to set that to an engrave. I do want to shrink this text way down because I don't want to use my whole can. Come on, it's just 20. There we go. That works. All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to bring it over here. Put it right, well, that's the top because that's where the light's reflecting. So let's go on down. It's going down to 10. All right. So come on, give me my handle. There we are. Ah. All right. So for this here, we're going to go over here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the material. Let me show you here. Over here where it says materials, I'm going to type in aluminum, anodized aluminum. We'll run the settings for purple. All right, because that's close to what I've got going on here. All right, click on that. That's going to run the fiber, and you can see all the different settings here. If I wanted to, let's see, that's just going dead center. So yeah, that'll work. That looks about right. And so we're just going to hit that, and I'm going to tell it to process. I set the focus manually when I first put the Dr. Pepper in there. So you can do auto, but it's just as easy to me to do it the other way. So hang on, let me, wait a minute. Oh, wrong camera. Let me see here. Nope, wrong camera there. There we go. There you go. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see a whole lot from there, but that's it. Here we go. All right. So, there you go. There's my engrave. And can y'all see that okay? Is that working? Hang on. Yeah, it doesn't take long with the Ultra, but yeah, there's the engrave. So if you're trying to practice, like I said, with especially with a rotary, because I mean, if you drink a lot of Mountain Dews, not that any of you do, but if you drink a lot of Mountain Dews or something, you can practice with these cans. And if you have anodized aluminum stuff that you want to do, like I said, that's a white engrave. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it turned that Dr. Pepper can white. Hang on. Let me see if I got another can sometime here. All right, this is gonna be a cool one too. Now I don't know who drinks these. Somebody throw the monster can in my garbage. I don't know who drinks them, but let me put it over here. We'll show you on this. All right. So since the can's basically the same diameter and everything, I ain't even fixing to go through the trouble of trying to set everything else up. I'm just going to hit process again. All right. It's going to ask me to hit start. Now I got to slide over here and hit that button. There you go. White text on black. So there you are. Question? I don't have any Budweiser cans, Jack. I don't know. I just luckily somebody had thrown this monster can in my garbage and I had it. But as you can see, that's white text on that black can. So, but yeah, but that's it. So we did Dr. Pepper and a monster can with the X-Tool F1 Ultra, and you saw how fast that was. Oh yeah, hey, hang on. All right, y'all gonna make me flex the F1 Ultra. Hang on. All right, hang on. We're gonna show you something else. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and update my background again with my can here. All right, so take that off. So I've got this little area here that's mostly black. All right, So I'm going to import an image. What can I get? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Oh, yeah, that'll work. No, that'd be awesome. Yeah, let's do that. All right, I'm probably gonna have to resize this way down because this is a big file. Yeah, that's big. So we're gonna drag this and make it small. All right. I'm gonna try to put it on the top of that can right there. I think it'll be okay if I wrap it just a little bit. The F1 Ultra, I will tell you this, it's a lot more forgiving on focus sometimes than some of these other machines. So I've got the same settings. I'm just using the anodized aluminum settings that Xtool includes with the machine. Nothing fancy. I'm not even changing settings. Matter of fact, let me move this down a little bit because I see some questions we might want to answer. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit the process button right there. Like I said, you saw I'm just using stock settings for this. Hit the start. Got the beep. Let me go hit the button. All right, so there you go. There you are. So there you are, and that's white. I don't know. I can't get it to zoom in like I could with my other one. Hang on, let me see if I can take a picture of it, and then I can zoom in with my picture, and maybe show you that way. All right. There's a little trick right here. If your eyes ain't quite what they used to be, oh man, quit rotating. So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, the bigger the design, definitely the longer it takes. So with the Galvos, the thing about the Galvos is white space. White space is nothing. The way that beam travels, white space doesn't take but just a split second. But when you start getting into like right here, and I'll be honest with you, looking at this, I could probably speed this up a little bit. I don't really need all that power, but look what a pretty white I'm getting. I mean, it's wider. That text is wider than where they wrote monster on there. It's better looking text than that. So let's go back down to the screen for a second. So hit OK. Let me update my overlay. I should have done this a while ago. That's what I should have done. I should have just updated the overlay. That way you could see it that way. But there's because it's got a much better camera than the one I'm trying to view with. There's the engrave. Now, like I said, I didn't run the LPI up. I didn't try to do it with like a photo or nothing like that. But import image. Let's see here. Trying to see what else I might have in here. This is a pretty cool, like the artwork and the resolution of this one usually comes out really good. I haven't done it on a monster can yet. We can try. All right, so I'm going to turn this around about right there. Put that on there. All right, so and then we'll move on to the other machines after I get this one done, because I know y'all want to see the other ones too. See that file right there? It has so much detail. It takes it a second. All right, here we go. All right, 18 seconds. So there's that one. And it's white. It is as white as can be. So let me see if I can zoom in on this one. There you go. Even as small as it is, it turned out really nice. So yeah, these things, like I said, guys, you gotta look when you're looking around your environment, especially in the trash can, because doing this doesn't affect if you recycle cans, it doesn't affect it. It doesn't matter. Now I wouldn't be like engraving my social security number or anything like that on them, but it doesn't affect it. I mean, you're not hurting anything. If anything, you're cleaning some of the the color off of it. If you'll notice right there in the edge of that green, it's still engraved white. All right, so let's shut that machine down, and we'll go to the next one. What are you doing, Cat? All right, so next up is going to be the Monport. This is a 30-watt MOPA. It's a little more zap to it. Oh, I gotta go around back. Turn the main switch off. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the IR on too to let it be warming up, because little known fact with the IR, y'all can't see it, can you? Yeah, you see that little blue flashing light right there? As long as that light's flashing blue, the machine is not warmed up, and it won't work. So you got to wait on that to warm up first. So I'm going to go ahead and get it powered up, let it warm. All right, so I got the Monport fired up. The Monport does have autofocus. It's pretty neat. But the problem with the autofocus on something like this is the autofocus, there's a specific spot that you've got to have the whatever it is under, and then you got to hit the button. With my little makeshift holder being a t-shirt, that's going to be a little hard to do. So I'm going to manually focus the machine. All right, and because these machines are not enclosed, which is one of the benefits of having the X tool, I gotta wear these, and I try to make sure I don't have any little furry friends coming down. I'm not locking them out right now. So can't hardly see the screen. So we're gonna go with the Monport 30-watt MOPA first. This is the Monport. This is Lightburn. That is one. This is the model 30A. This is the one that I'm supposed to be, if you believe what I've been told, I am supposed to be getting a 100-watt one to go with this. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select that black anodized business card. I'm going to go for the white engrave. Hit assign. So if you notice, this is going to change this setting to what I need it to run. So that's 1500 millimeters a second at 100% output. That seems a little hot, but I put it in here in my settings. So I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust in the past me, and I'm going to trust that I did it, that I put it in there right. So I'm going to hit the frame button, and let me see what it's doing. Let me try to get y'all a camera set over here. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. We'll try. Yeah, you can barely see it framing right there. Barely. The camera's not quite high enough. So I got it framing. frame looks good. I still say these settings are probably too hot. So if I cut through the can, I told you so. Here we go. Are y'all ready? Hang on, let me hide. Yeah, that fast. So there you go. Yeah, I cleaned the metal a little bit. No audio when I go. Okay. All right, so I need to leave this camera up anyway. So I cleaned it. I cleaned it a little bit, so I can go much faster. Let's go 5,000. And I'm not checking the frequency or anything on this. This is simply I could sit here and do speed tests and get the frequency just right and rip through this thing. But I'm gonna crank it up to 5,000 millimeters a second and see what it does. All right, here we go. Get ready. That's it. Not a lot of change. What's my max speed on this machine? I can't remember. Hang on, let me consult my notes. Oh, I didn't put that in my notes. So I guess we're just gonna find out if it'll let us set it to 10,000. Nope. Okay, so it must be. Was it 9? I think it was 9. Nope. 8 maybe. Let me just go to settings and look. Edit. Settings. Where am I at? Max speed is 7,000 is what it's set at from the factory. So we'll run this at 7,000 millimeters a second. And I was running this at 400 LPI too. So let me set this over here and frame it again. All right, stand by. Done. That's at 7,000 millimeters a second. So yeah, there you go. So that's the Mon port 30A. All right. So now we can go to. 1 minute. I still got the longer open. So change that. File. New window. So what y'all think about that? What y'all think about it so far? Now, I will tell you, this one's not turning it white as much as what the X tool was, but that's because it is a MOPA. It does interact. See, these are white. That's almost like it just cleaned the metal. So I would have to sit here and play with the settings. Probably going to need to go up on the frequency for this machine because I can adjust the frequency, and the higher the frequency, the less aggressive it'll dig. I have figured out, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this with my machines anyway. Frequency is kind of like the grit of sandpaper on these machines, it seems. The lower the frequency, the rougher the finish is going to be. The higher the frequency, the smoother it's going to be. So the higher frequencies aren't going to remove this coating as much as it's going to change the color of it, typically. So there's a lot of playing to do with these machines, especially when you get like these guys here. Oh, I got that one unplugged. So there we go. All right. So I should have that guy online. So I'm going to type some text in down here. And we're going to do marker Omni 1. And that is the name of this machine. Like I said, if you missed it, this is a 5-watt UV. So I'm going to go over here to my material library. Anodized aluminum, white engrave. See, I've actually got this dialed down, so I'm going to go with white engrave, and I'm going to hit, and you can see this is set up here. Watch what happens. Assigns the power output to it, so now that's set for my white engrave. Go over here and hit laser. With these machines, you can do bounce, hull, or contour. Contour kind of shows you where every little part's going to be, as to where this is just like outlines it. So I'm going to contour this one. Now, I won't be back over here for this machine because, hold your horses, guys. This one's got a sewing machine pedal. So once I make sure my framing is correct, there's a pedal down here on the bottom of my table. I step on that pedal, it's going to engrave it. I can turn that thing to the next spot, hit the pedal, it's going to engrave. So we'll run a couple of shots through that just to show you. Here we go. Here we go. Now I do got this one doing like 4 runs to make sure that it gets it nice and white. And I'm also running 1,000 LPI. So I'm going to turn it just ever so slightly, and I'm going to run it again. So there you go. And that's with the white engrave. Kind of cool, right? You'll see something real cool. Down to the screen. All right, so now we come in here, put my little circle. I'm gonna make that circle like 20 by 20. All right, we'll change that over here to a cut line. We'll go down here to my material library. I'm gonna tell it to cut, do a business card cut, assign, laser, frame, and over I go. Look what's coming out of that can. Look inside that can right there, guys. Like where the mouth of the can is. Y'all see that? Anybody want to guess on what that means? The fact that you're seeing that laser on the inside of that can. Anybody? Any guesses? It means we just cut a hole in the can there, bro. So with this machine, not only can I engrave cans, but I can also make a can into, like, let's say I wanted to make like a little flower or something for some kind of crafty something or another. I could actually cut parts of this can and make stuff out of it. So yeah, but look at that. That is a perfect clean cut hole, no melting, no warping of the material, no nothing. Use wobble and it'll cut faster. Yeah, Jack, I haven't played around with that. Let me see here. So what is wobble? I've never played with that. I'll have to play with that and see. But yeah, it cuts pretty quick considering. I've got it set on 14 passes, but it cuts pretty quick. Now, the one thing that I will say, and I'm not tripping on nobody's machine, and I'm not talking smack about nobody's machine. I have cut stuff with other lasers also, and they will do it. But that edge that I'm getting right there with no deformation or anything like that, I can't do that with any of the other machines, or haven't been able to, because what happens is this can will start getting hot and it'll start bucking like business cards. When you start getting those business cards hot, they'll start bowing up. The corners will start coming up off the work area. Then they're out of focus, and now your cut's moving because the card's wiggling. That's the difference between this machine and the fiber. It's not that the fibers can't do it. It's the fact that this machine does it without getting it hot and causing it to deform and all that. And it's freaking amazing. Like to be able to cut a hole. And like I said, I probably could have done it a lot less passes. But like, let me get down here in the workspace, show you something. So like, I've seen some folks recently asking about, hey, I bought this thing off of Amazon and it's the projector. And so it, it projects, but I need this screen to go over it so that I can project these images onto the wall or whatever the case may be. I'm trying to find. And so with this machine, if you wanted to cut something like that, now you'd have to flatten the material out. You'd have to either take this can and cut it and flatten it out, or use a piece of anodized aluminum or whatever. But where's my, I guess I could go with, I can use that. So like if I wanted to make a little trinket or something for an earring or whatever, we're going to pretend that's what I'm making. So this is just a logo for Butterfly Bridge, which coincidentally is where the little coffee stand is going to the giveaway. So let me go over and make sure I'm framing right. All right, so it is framing correctly. And here we go. Smashing the pedal. And so let that run. But so if you were making like whatever the kind of stuff you're making and you needed those little small pieces of metal, if you wanted to, like you could literally take this can right here with this laser, you could paint the can, take the laser, do all this stuff to it. And you could put you could set these on your patio, on your back porch. If you painted them like gold or something, you could cut little shapes out of them, set one of those little tea light candles off in the middle of them, and have like this cool thing that nobody else had. I guess I should probably make a video of that. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? That would be actually kind of cool. So that one is through. But the one thing I will say is they don't typically fall out. You have to bump them. Like this kerf is so tight, you have to bump them to get them to fall out of the hole. So, but yeah, I got to get this one out of here now. So I'm going to have to, hang on. I'm kind of curious, and I've been wanting to try it. If take it, put them in a chuck and set it to do a line and just turn it real slow and cut the top off of the can. I think that I know it's doable. I just haven't done it yet. We'll cut this one open and get my little piece out of the inside. So there's the little round piece that we cut earlier. That's pretty cool. And we'll put this in the trash now. And there's that little tiny butterfly hand looking thing we cut. And see how tiny the pieces are, guys? Like right there. I don't know if you can see it, but even hang on, let me take a picture of it. Even where the butterfly's antennas are on that image, like that little tiny piece, it didn't bend it or anything. Like it didn't melt it. It didn't bend it. Like that little tiny piece of aluminum, none of the parts are bent or anything. Like it's the way that it's supposed to be. Those little thin pieces of metal, if you cut those with any of the other machines that I've tried to cut them with, it would have twisted up. The heat expansion would have like made this thing turn into nothing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So there you go. You know, the project that you never knew was a project. Empty cans. So will it cut a vegetable can? I don't know about a vegetable can. That'd be awful thick. I haven't tried that. I almost cut. Like when I was first playing around with this machine, I put some pretty good gouges in this piece of steel. This is a piece of stainless, and it's not aluminum; it's stainless, and those like those are pretty deep. Yeah, I'll do a junkie. I'll do a recycling bin or trash pool project one day. But yeah, that's can you cut the can without cutting the plastic liner? Now I don't know about all that. You'd have to really dial them settings in. With this machine, probably not, because with a fiber, you probably could pull it off, because if the liner is clear, the fiber would go through it and not cut it. But with the Omni, the UV, even if there is like that little layer of coating in there, the UV is going to cut it too, because it doesn't care if it's clear or not. So that would be an unfair advantage for a machine that can't do nothing with clear. So, oh, I didn't show y'all the Dr. Pepper as far as the engraving. Hang on. Back down to the screen, guys. All right, so I'm going to delete that. Let me just back up. There we go. All right, so we got that right there. Let me make sure I got my material library. Let's see, anodized aluminum, white engrave. Click on that. Assign. Yep. Frame. Made the text a little bigger this time. I've got it doing the 4 different directions, because especially with the clear materials, I find that I get a more consistent finish that way. But yeah, white text. So there you go. That is why this machine has taken the location that it has taken. It's stuff like this. If I have something come in the shop and it's one of those things that I want to engrave, but I'm not real sure about, like let's say if somebody wanted something engraved on their phone case, this machine is if I was gonna attempt it without doing power and speed settings first, I'd use this machine because it's just so far I haven't tore anything like even plastics. Like I've tried doing plastics with the fibers, and if you get them too hot, they'll start popping and bubbling and like just melting, turning into a melted mess. So far with the Omni, I haven't had that problem. Now you may have to run it 5 or 6 times passes to get it to the color or the consistency that you want, but it's not as likely to just destroy a piece of something. Like let's say, for instance, this little SD card thing right here. All right, this is mine. It's not real expensive. It just holds SD cards. So if somebody brought me this and was like, man, I'd really like to have my logo on this SD card thing here, and you can see it's never done anything with this, I would say, let's use the Omni. Because with the Omni, it's not aggressive enough to really cause any issues. Like so far, everything I've done with it, it's given me decent results without a whole lot of having to test. Now, could I get better settings with proper testing? Yeah, but that's got to be bigger. But with this machine, it's like I said, it's just a little more forgiving without having to do all the testing. All right, so down to the screen, and I'm gonna shut up on this machine. All right, so in my material library, we're gonna go in through here, and I'm gonna be like, all right, so what do I think this is gonna engrave the most like? PLA orange, yeah, that's probably close. It's plastic. I've got all these other different settings. This is all the Lone Star stuff that I did the other day. I've got my settings for leather. Look there, I've got some Kydex. Well, this is probably ABS of some type or something of that sort. But I can go, like, we'll go to OD green because that is the color. Engrave. We'll do an engrave right here. So there's the settings, 2000. Run 1000 LPI, which is insane. That's one thing about this machine. So I'm going to assign that speed and power right there. And we're going to go with it. And we're just going to see what happens. Like I said, well, the thing about this one, it doesn't melt it. That's what, like, that is literally powder coming off of that. It's not burning it. It's not melting it or anything like that. It is literally, I probably should have that exhaust turned on, but look out, cat. But with this machine, cat, get out from here. Come here. Come here. Yep. Woo. It's getting loud. See, it doesn't melt it. Like it just changes the color of the material. That is literally all it does. This is, you can look there. It's raised up, if anything. So it's crazy. It's voodoo. I don't fully understand it, but yeah. But yeah, there you go. So pretty much anything I pick up, literally anything I pick up, this machine will mark it. So far, I haven't found anything I can't mark. Now, if you're wanting this to be like down in there, Cat, what are you doing? Yeah, I might have quit before I get one of them. If you want this to be like recessed in there and engraved, this UV, yeah, you probably could do it, but you'd have to sit there and run that and run that and run that with like really low frequency, really low Q pulse, and it just wouldn't. To me, if I was trying to do a deeper engrave, I would run one of those two machines, not the UV. Woo, it's cooling it off in here quick. Yes, that is the Omni One 5-watt UV. And it's very expensive. I'm going to tell you guys. I seen somebody up there, V, I think it was V, saying that everybody would have to get together and like room together to be able to afford the machines. And they're very expensive. These machines can be incredibly expensive. But, you know, luckily, because of the videos and because you guys watch the videos, I tend to get some pretty cool machines. But now, I will say this. People call them free machines. Don't let them fool you. I didn't pay for them with money, but you work your tail off with some of these companies. And, like, they will bug the horns off a billy goat sometimes. Not all of them, but some of them will. So... what we talking about, Jack? What are you talking about, Jack? Hey, my videos, you ain't got to make good ones. I'm living proof of that. They don't got to be good. You just got to make them. What is it? Somebody said the other day, you got to make a bunch of them. They got to be good. You got to have a lot of them. No, videos, guys. And luckily for me, I don't know if all y'all, I got to turn that vent off. That's getting cold here now. Hang on. Let me plug that hole. Whoop! They got me cold. Hang on a minute. I gotta go fire my heater up for a minute.
Right now, it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 18 degrees.
That's gonna be cold. All right. So what did I miss? What I miss? All right. We almost been 4 hours, guys. Is it warmer at your house, Steve? What is wrong? We got snow at the beach. It's warmer at Steve's house than it is at my house. That ain't even right. Ain't even right. Belt pinching me. 10 and good gosh. It's warmer in Ohio too. That's terrible. That's terrible. What are you looking for? Doesn't have that. Must be an out time. Dixie, it's let me see. I don't know that I can show you. She's talking about what are you trying to join? You trying to talking about the YouTube channel? Is that what you're looking at? I can't show you because I'm logged in as me. But anyway, 29, 25, man, it's 18 degrees here. Yeah, Dixie, right there beside the subscribe. If you're talking about joining the subscribe is really the biggest the biggest thing. If you subscribe, you can get the rest of them. If you're trying to join the membership, there should be a button right beside where you subscribed. There should be one that says join or become a member or something like that that you can click. But you'll figure it out. Just play around with it. You'll figure it out. Had 0.3 inches of snow this month, Steve said. We didn't have any here, but they had like 6 or 8 inches down in Mobile, which it never snows down there. I don't know if it's snowing down there, but a couple of times. But yeah. It's done got cold. It's done got too cold for my little old mini split. I know that. Because I'm undersized for this shop anyway, as drafty as it is. But when it gets down to this cold, my mini split just says, Like it's trying, it's putting out some warm air over there, but it's not enough to keep up with the drafty building I got going on here. So I have to substitute with this guy right here. Now that thing will get it cold, hot in here in a hurry. It just cost me a little bit of money to do it. But luckily, it's so drafty in here that I don't have to worry about that thing becoming a problem, getting headaches or nothing. I don't sleep in here, so that's not a concern. All right, well, guys, what y'all think about it? We pulled stuff out of the trash, made laser projects with it. We've engraved just random stuff with UV, which I'm telling you, the UV is cool for those things that you don't know exactly what the settings are, or like Jack was saying, if it's something that you don't need to be doing with a blue diode or with a regular laser, because it does not like it doesn't get this stuff hot. Like it doesn't melt it. It's almost like it bleaches it is all it does. And according to what I've read, that's basically what's happening. Like it is really, it's amazing how it operates. But anyway, maybe we can do a video one day on, I don't know, I'll make something out of cans, like some little lanterns for tea lights or whatever, play around with the UVs or one of the machines. I may even have the 100-watt MOPA coming. If I get that, I'm gonna have to call Jack and get him to give me some tips and pointers, because the 30 watts, that's the strongest fiber laser I've ever had, is the 30-watt Monport, and it's done a good job. But 100-watt would really, really do a good job. So, but I'm not going to count my chickens till they hatch, because they mentioned sending it, but until they do, we're not, because Monport hadn't been too long ago. Monport had mentioned me trying out their Mega also, and it never showed up. So we're going to wait and see what happens. Any questions before we go, guys? Make a map ornament without going to that map online thing that costs money. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know me and Steve both. They one of those map companies that do the SVGs for maps or whatever. They really pursued me and Steve about that, but it was really expensive, and unless you were going to be making a bunch of those things and doing it for money, it was hard for me to like get overly happy about that. So yeah, Jack, I thought about doing it with the 30. I played around with a couple of rocks with the 30, and it just didn't impress me, but the 100 will be kind of cool. No, Steve, they were in the live. If you remember, they were in the live commenting, talking about, yeah, we need y'all to try our products, and like they were like stalking us. they were coming in Sunday nights and were in the chat talking about it. And I mean, I understand they're promoting their business, and I don't blame them, but at the same time, you know, don't wear out your welcome. Jack said he's got a video of turning a rock into cotton. So yeah, go check that out. That'd be cool. I had to go check it out myself. But anyway, guys, it's late. I've been on here 3 hours and 47 minutes. So I'm gonna end this thing, and I'm gonna turn commercials on, just so you know. I don't turn them on these lives during the live, but as soon as it's over with, if anybody wants to watch a replay, they get commercials. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It was fun. You know, cool stuff going on, different machines coming in. Like I said, the longer it's more of what I had before, but hey, I had to have one in the shop. It is a 40 watt. That's an upgrade. My buddy really appreciated the fact that he got the 30, because there was absolutely no reason for me to have a 30 and a 40 in my shop of the same exact machine. So it worked out good for him. I got a new 40 watt in the event that one of my other machines was to die. I can use it as a backup. So, we'll see. But anyway, if you hadn't already, guys, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to Steve, some of you new guys, I saw some new folks in here tonight. If you're not subscribed to Steve over at Vintage Workshop, go hit that button for him too. Me and Steve partner up on most everything that we do. We try to partner together. If you're in the Atlanta area, assuming Steve pulls through this illness that he's got going on right now and recovers, we'll both be there the 27th through the 1st, as we mentioned before, in the for Workbench Con. It's going to be a fun time, hopefully. So if you're new to my channel and you never went over and watched Steve brings a different angle to everything, and Sunday nights just wouldn't be the same without Steve being there with us as well. So go check his channel out, subscribe to him, and we'll see you Sunday if you really want to learn some stuff. Come Sunday, because that's when we really pull out stops. But y'all be good, be safe, and have a good night.